right, and we should be live, but welcome to what for me is a bit of out of place streaming on what for me is a Sunday morning, but we got a historic one here in Dublin, Ireland, as the Steelers about to take on the Minnesota Vikings out at Crooke Park. Kickoff should be coming in about the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. But we're hoping for a good game. I think a lot of questions coming in for the Steelers. A couple of notable outs. Alex Highsmith did not make the trip out for the Steelers. Jalen Warren was also deactivated. The Steelers starting running back early this morning. So he will not be playing either. Jalen Warren dealing with a knee injury. So definitely a lot of questions to be taken in mind again, looking to kick off before too much longer. Again, we're taking a look at Bill Murray and Jason Kelsey on the sideline. Looking at the crowd, looks like a decent mix of color. I know in the stands, in the kind of B-roll footage that they've been showing outside, there has been a good chunk of black and gold. So Steelers are the home team in this one, so we'll see how much of a factor that could play. But of course, first NFL game out here in Dublin, Ireland. Of course, college football has played at Crooke Park, so not the first U.S. football game at the stadium, but still a lot that could happen. At least in terms of predictions for this one, is I'm actually going to go ahead and fix the score real quick, since that's just a setup thing on my end. We'll go with that. But yeah, for predictions, at least for what I expect, I don't see the Steelers winning this game. I think the Vikings definitely have an edge going in. I certainly hope that the Steelers come out victorious in this one. I just think it's going to be an uphill battle with how we've played to start the season. Our defense has looked really shaky to start the year. Our pass rush really didn't get going until last week, and even last week, despite getting 5 sacks, despite getting 5 turnovers, we still gave up well over 300 yards. We gave up 100 yards rushing to the New England Patriots as a team. So I think a lot of concerns there to keep in mind. And again, still a couple minutes away from kickoff, so I'm actually going to take the chance to plug my stream in a couple of places. So we're going to do that real quick. So we'll go ahead and throw that there. We'll throw... Gotta self-promo everywhere I can. Self-promo. Self-promo. Let's see. Let's see. We're trying to figure some of the stuff out. We're trying to get this done before we actually fully kind of go hard. Sure, I'll go ahead and, let's see. I'll throw this here. Why not? Wait, hold on. That's the thing. We're trying to shameless plug, especially with it being the first game in Europe, because I've been involved in sim racing for a decent chunk of time, a good chunk of the European base. Not a clue how this game works. It's all good, Viperize. I think there should. Depending on the broadcast, I assume that you'll probably get the standard broadcast. I don't know how some of the broadcasting looks from a European perspective. But I imagine, if there is a separate kind of European broadcast, they'll have a good chunk of explanations. The best way I can describe it is, the scoring is basically the same as rugby, where... Hey, you get into the block at the end. They sing in. I imagine they'll do the U.S. first and then the Irish one, because I think that for the London games, they've done the British anthem. So I imagine it should be both. But again, scoring generally is, in terms of scoring, it's rugby basically. Get to the block at the end. You got to kick after. That's how you score points. You can also just kick and score points. And in terms of penalties, a lot of those should hopefully be explained. But you can't just kind of bear hug people. You can't grab onto the face mask of the helmet. There's a whole bunch of things that you kind of have to keep in mind. Stay away from and kind of see from there. And, yep, yeah, Nocturne. Just trying to Viper is Irish. She's a buddy who I've been league racing with for a while. So trying to get again something analogous, and we'll see how that lands. But there's still a number of international games left. Of course, Vikings play the Browns next weekend in London. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Again, I have the NFL Network broadcast here in the States, so we're still looking at highlights. And I think I'm set up to watch the game. I hope. Yep, I'm set up to watch the game. Whoops, hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go. Switched it. So now I am seeing that. I am probably going to be a little bit behind just because of how I am watching this game. My TV broadcast is a little bit behind. I will do what I can. Yeah, Viperize. If you see on the far side of the field, they have the Irish flag ready. So again, I'm just trying to make sure that I get caught up here. I'm just trying to sync up. We're at the end of the U.S. anthem. I believe the Irish one is just about to. All right. A little bit behind. We're trying to get it synced. Come on. Okay. Fubo just doesn't want to work with me, I suppose. So we're going to try this. I believe we have not quite kicked off yet. So again, we're gonna scramble here a little bit. Again, from what I can see, we have not kicked off. So not missing anything despite just crossing over 8:30. And we are, I do have the Irish anthem going on. Of course, both end zones painted for each team, so it should be a good watch there. Definitely enjoy seeing that. Again, should be generally set. Again, gives me a chance to share a couple of more links in places. We'll throw that there. And let's see. Anywhere else? That might do it. Yeah, that'll do it. But we are just about ready to kick off. Yeah, I mean, should hopefully be a fun game. I mean, we'll have to see just how it lines up. I think based on how the Steelers have played so far, I don't think we line up particularly well. But again, at the end of the day, it's going to be who executes better. Both these teams very strong in the turnover game, getting that change of possession, forcing fumbles, forcing interceptions. And so I think that's going to be the crucial part of this game to keep an eye on, is the turnover battle. And Steelers, obviously the run game is a question. Hoping on the Steelers end, that rookie running back Caleb Johnson will get a number of carries. We'll have to see how exactly the game plan plays out, considering the Steelers' leading rusher and leading receiver is injured in this one. But yeah, and they are waving the towels in Dublin. There's a good chunk of yellow waving in the stands, kind of on the far side of the field. Again, they're going through some of that pregame kind of interviews. Art Rooney in attendance, the Steelers president. Art Rooney II, I should say, in attendance. Vikings haven't been perfect themselves. Remember this team that got smoked by Penix, and his team just got slapped by Bryce Young. I think that's important to consider, but okay, I am very behind for no reason. Okay, am I going backwards for some reason? Okay, yeah, for some reason I'm having massive problems with this broadcast, and I don't know why. So we are going to reset. Again, apologies here that I can't quite just, dive into commentary. Week-to-week league transitive property need not apply. Steelers have so the game has kicked off, and we do have a bot, so that's a great start. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers is sacked on first down, by the way. Let's see. Put user in timeout. How do I ban people? Yeah, Steelers O-line, not very good. Vikings bringing a blitz on first. And yeah, Aaron Rodgers just goes down immediately. Apologize for that delay. We're going to... Okay. I think we're good. I think I got rid of that bot. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers sacked immediately. It's going to be a loss of 8 on first down as Aaron Rodgers dropped back. Rodgers under center here. Takes snap, makes the handoff to Gainwell. Rodgers going to dump it off to Gainwell in the flat. Going to get up over the 30, down to only the 33-yard line. So not quite all the way back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to make it 3rd down and 12 now on the quick out route. Steelers' offensive line has been very questionable this year. You got the center, the right guard, and the right tackle. So the man in the middle. The two guys you'll see lined up most consistently to his right, all in their second year. The man all the way on the left is in his 3rd year. But Rodgers going to go out of the gun here. 3rd and 12 to open up this game. Vikings showing blitz at the line. They're going to drop a couple of defenders out. We'll see if they bring the heat. Play clock winding down. They'll bring 4. Rodgers dropping, stepping up in the pocket, escaping to his right. Going to have to dump it off to Jonnu Smith, who I think is going to drop it. If he did hold on to it, he's going to lose a yard anyways. And it's a quick 3 and out for this Steelers offense as the Vikings defense comes out blazing to start the game. And yeah, they're going to roll as a catch, but it's going to be a loss of 1 for Jonnu Smith. And that's going to bring out the Steelers punt unit for the first time today. So not the way you'd want to see this game start. But the punt is away. So Steelers coverage unit will chase him down. Going to be fielded at the 13, up over the 15 to the 20, up over the 25 before he's wrapped up by a couple of Steelers. Jack Sawyer, the first player in there for the black and yellow, and that'll give us a first look at the Vikings offense this morning for me. I was going to say this afternoon or evening, because that's normally what I am used to. But instead, it's going to be Carson Wentz leading this Vikings offense. Of course, gets Jordan Addison back after serving a 3-game suspension. You got Justin Jefferson out wide there, also one of the best wide receivers in the league. You got Adam Thielen, acquired this offseason from Carolina. You have T.J. Hockenson at tight end, who's going to be an ever-present threat to keep an eye on. And now the lead back, Jordan Mason. But the Vikings here, going to lead out, empty set. Wentz takes snap, looking right, fires, complete. And it's Justin Jefferson who picks up a first grab for 5 yards there. So Vikings offense already starting to find some tempo, trying to get their top pass catcher into that rhythm very early. Vikings offensive line missing Donovan Jackson today. So we'll see how much that impacts their game plan and how much this impacts their pass protection against the very fierce pass rush of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hockenson in motion is going to make it trips bunched to the near side of the formation. Wentz takes snap. It's going to be a handoff running left. Jordan Mason up over the 35. First down. He'll make it all the way up to the 38 before he's run out of bounds by Darius Slay. And that'll give the Vikings an early first down to open up this drive. So, Steelers D-line, you got Derek Harmon starting there. How many 15-minute rounds is there? So it's 4 15-minute quarters. So there's, a brief break in between. There's a brief break at the half mark. And then at 2 minutes to go in the second quarter and the fourth quarter, there is an automatic timeout. Wentz takes snap, looking to the near side, fires, complete once again to Jefferson, who's not covered very well. He's going to scamper up to the 45-yard line. He's going to pick up 8 yards there. And so that'll make it 2nd down and 2. So Vikings doing a nice job early of getting into a rhythm with those quick little hitch passes to Justin Jefferson. Of course, clock going to keep rolling there as he went down inbounds. Clock only stops if a player runs out of bounds. Clock will also stop on an incomplete pass or a penalty. You can also call a timeout. Wentz going to go under center here. 2 tight ends in the near side. Receiver coming in motion to the near side. Takes a snap. Hands it off. Mason up the middle. Going to bounce it to the right. Going to pick up the first down. He's going to be able to pick up about 3 yards there before he's taken down. Patrick Queen, one of the first players on the scene, as was, I believe, that was, his name is escaping me, number 25, that was Deshaun Elliott flying in there to ultimately make the shoestring shackle on Jordan Mason, number 27. But that's going to be another fresh set of downs for the Vikings. Wentz in the shotgun. Running back is lined up to his right. Takes a snap, going to fake the toss to the right. Pressure coming on Wentz. Sawyer going to hit him, but he gets the ball away to Jordan Mason, who's going to make a couple of Steelers defenders miss on that first reception. Good on Wentz to get that ball away, and that quick screen going to go for 5 yards on first down. So again, it's that rhythm. It's keeping the momentum here for the Minnesota Vikings. That is the big point of emphasis. You're seeing Wentz do a nice job getting the ball out quickly, finding the open man to evade, the Steelers bringing 5, in some instances bringing 6, and even getting pressure on 4. Wentz tossed to the left. Mason's going to try to find the edge. He's going to get off the edge and pick up another first down. And the Steelers, ball is out, fumble, and going the other way. Jalen Ramsey going the other way. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Pittsburgh. Jordan Mason with the fumble, and the Steelers take an early lead with the defense showing up. I barely even saw that ball go out. We'll have to see on review. And the ball is certainly out. It's number 21 on the strip. Jordan Mason drops the football. Chuck Clark with the forced fumble. And Jalen Ramsey goes the other way. Steelers, after a very challenging offense start to the game, will make it in. Jalen Ramsey fakes pulling up with the injury, but is the first one that gets to gritty in this one as he makes sure to hit it. Of course, Jalen Ramsey, very fiery. Great work from Chuck Clark. Great heads-up play from Ramsey to just take that ball, turn into a running back, go the other direction, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So we'll take a look at Chris Boswell coming out for his first PAT of the game. I imagine they're going to VAR here just to confirm that will be a fumble. For Viper, since you are watching, fumble there. Once the ball carrier's knee or elbow or a significant part of his body goes down, as we are looking here. Oh, they're taking the touchdown off the board because Jordan Mason touched it. Wow. So is that going to take the points off the... Wow. Are you serious? Wow. I feel like that should still be... I don't know. That's... Wow. That's massively unlucky. Yeah. So that's going to take the touchdown off the board. So Jordan Mason, despite fumbling, had a part of his body out of bounds. And that's going to mean it's a dead ball. So the play stands. And it is still a Vikings first down. I mean, yeah, that's frustrating. Wow. I don't even think that's a get out of jail. It's based on how the rules work, Alexis, where, that's just, a general rule where because the player of the Minnesota Vikings touched the ball while he was out of bounds, play is dead, and he was the first one to touch the ball, where, so many rules. I think it's definitely, especially with it being kind of a first go at things here, that is not something you see every day. That is a very rare occurrence, that you'll see that rule have to be enforced, just because so many things have to come together for that to work. But it's going to be back to 1st and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings. In purple, Wentz, empty set, surveying the field, looking, firing over the middle, complete Justin Jefferson down inside the 20, all the way down to the 16-yard line. And so Justin Jefferson on with his third grab of the day, already really getting to work. This is not what you want to see with the Steelers defense. Just kind of finds that little hitch in the cover two. So two deep safeties. So, drop two defenders deep. You got about 5 in the second level. And then you're ready to go. So 1st and 10, Minnesota again. Carson Wentz going under center. Mason remains the single back. Going to hand it off up the middle to Mason, who's going to forge forward, get up over the 15, down to about the 13-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll make it about 2nd down and 7 to go here. Of course, one more first down for the Minnesota Vikings, and then they're in a goal-to-go scenario. Can't get another first down outside of penalties after that point. 8:24, 8:23, 8:22 left to go here in the first quarter if you do want to try and sync it up if you can. But again, 2nd down and 7. Wentz looking to go out, actually under center here. Hawkinson coming in motion. It's going to be fake as a toss, back screen to the right. Justin Jefferson down to the 10. Going to get stood up just before the first down at the 6. So it's going to be close. There is a flag thrown on the play. So some sort of infraction committed by either side. Jack Sawyer, one of the players, in on the tackle. And it looks like it will be a penalty on the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see what the call is. And I'll do my best to explain it. And so we get an ineligible man downfield call on the Vikings. So I guess for a little bit of an explanation there, on ineligible man downfield, so on a pass play, the offensive lineman can only go 1 yard downfield if the pass is beyond the line of scrimmage. If they don't, that is a penalty on the offense. That's just to make sure you don't have O-line going out trying to block linebackers or secondary or cornerbacks in coverage. Wentz, empty set, 2nd and 12, working from the 18, looking to his right, firing, complete short to Justin Jefferson, who will get up to the 15. It's Nick Herbig on the tackle there. It's going to be a pickup of 3 yards there. And actually, they got the Steelers PA announcer in the house. I do have the game, the audio in my left ear, so I can kind of hear some of the sound effects that are going on. So you hear, if you are watching the game live and getting some of that commentary as well, you would have heard the horn there, as well as the PA announcer announcing 3rd down. But it's going to be 3rd and 9 here. Got trips bunched to the near side, so 3 potential receivers. Wentz takes the snap, looking left, going to be hit hard and sacked. That's Patrick Queen in there for the Steelers sack, coming in completely unblocked, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. So they're not going to come away with 6 points, but they are going to be able to stop what was a rather menacing-looking Vikings drive. As yet, TJ Watt just got chipped. Patrick Queen able to come through just completely unblocked. Had Justin Jefferson wide open over the middle, but not able to hit him. That'll bring out the Vikings field goal unit here. So going for 3 points this time. Field goal is up, and the field goal is good. So that will make it 3-0 Minnesota. As we have an injury here. It's number 75 for the Vikings in quite a lot of pain. So Brian O'Neill, who is a starter on that Minnesota O-line, seemed to be doubling over with quite a lot of pain. So that's really not what you're going to want to see. But again, Vikings take an early 3-0 lead as we head to the to the first commercial break of this game. Again, really unlucky for the Steelers. It's not even necessarily a heads-up play from Jordan Mason that led to that touchdown getting nullified. That was just what happens sometimes. It's a bang-bang play there. Jordan Mason reaching through the ball was already towards the sideline, and so was out of bounds. And that's what led to that play being dead. And so that's going to be, that's effectively a 10-point swing now in favor of the Minnesota Vikings. And so now we'll have to see if the Steelers offense is able to respond. No rushing attempts on that first offensive drive for the Steelers, which has to change. We have to establish the run, even with Jalen Warren not in the game. We have Caleb Johnson. We have Kenneth Gainwell. Let's try and get something going there. But at some point, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Ultimately, try to keep an eye out for some of the bots as they make their way through as well. If you're just joining, Vikings did just take a 3-0 lead. I need to check to remember who their field goal kicker is, because I don't remember. That's why we have depth charts on my computer ready to go. The Vikings field goal kicker is Will Reichard. So I'll keep that in mind for later in this game. Wentz versus Rodgers. What is this, 2016? It might as well be. But Wentz has been solid early. How long is this break? A couple of minutes. Viperize, to give you an idea, NFL games, normally from kickoff to the end of the game, are a little bit over 3 hours. So just to give you an idea of what the timing will be. Some games go a little bit quicker, some games a little bit slower. Sometimes they add in some extra commercials to make sure the games go over 3 hours. You didn't hear that from me. But of course, just coming out of the break now, taking a look at Justin Jefferson, 4 receptions, 438 yards on that opening Minnesota drive, and a ton of open opportunities for him to pick up some yards after the catch. But the kick is away, going to be fielded up the 5 to the 10, the 15, 20, cuts it to the far side, 25, up to almost the 30-yard line before he's taken down. Viperize, you're welcome to throw me on in the background, and I'll try to be as good with play-by-play as I can. But yeah, I'm missing out on some of the practice there. I'll get about 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll be using qualifying for practice, basically. But 1st and 10 Steelers, 6:19 left to go in the first. And so, we really got to see what goes on here. Of course, Steelers O-line played really poorly on that opening drive. So we'll have to see what happens here. But yeah, 6:19 left to go in the first quarter. Steelers with the ball on their own 29. Going to be a toss to Kenneth Gainwell running left. Good blocking this time, though. Up over the 35, almost picking up a first down. As Kenneth Gainwell doing a nice job potentially getting this Steelers run game clicking. I believe it was a pickup of 8 yards there. So Aaron Rodgers has been much better has been the best quarterback completing passes under 10 yards. 4 touchdowns and 120.2 passer rating, which, don't ask me how passer rating is calculated. I don't exactly know, but just basically it's about how good a quarterback is doing. Rodgers in shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the near side, going to fake the handoff, going to be a quick screen out to the near side. It's going to be Calvin Austin who's going to get up over the 40 and pick up the Steelers' first down up to their 42-yard line. And so that'll be a fresh Pittsburgh set of downs. It's going to be Dallas Turner on the tackle. And so good work by the Steelers to convert on a short yardage scenario after a great opening run from Caleb Johnson. Taking a look at Arthur Smith, the Steelers' offensive play caller on the sidelines. Rodgers out of the shotgun. It's Caleb Johnson lined up to his near side. That's to Aaron Rodgers' right. Caleb Johnson going to get motioned out. It's going to be empty set. Vikings bringing 4. Going to be a quick pass over the middle. It's going to be DK Metcalf with a nice little grab, and he'll spring forward on a quick slant, and that's going to be 14 yards and a Steelers first down as they get onto the Vikings side of the field. As you got DK Metcalf, great heads-up play, just able to stop really quickly. Again, just gets to that inside of Dallas Turner. Aaron Rodgers doing a nice job of getting the ball out quickly, and DK Metcalf doing a nice job of holding on to the football. So 1st and 10, once again for the Steelers, 4:30, 4:29, 4:28 left to go. Rodgers under center. 2 tight ends bunched to the offensive line. Going to be a toss to the right. Caleb Johnson getting his first tote of the game. Going to pick up about 2 yards there. So clock will continue to roll. So obviously not a great first run from Caleb Johnson. Would rather see him run a little bit more north and south, as that is how he was when he played college football at Iowa. He was very much, a power running back. So not really going side to side, making players miss. He was very north and south. Rodgers, though, in the gun this time, it's going to be Johnny Smith to his right and Caleb John, and actually I believe that's Kenneth Gainwell to his left. Johnny Smith sent in motion to the left. Rodgers takes snap, surveying the field, going to go to Smith over on the left-hand side, up over the 40, down to about the 35. So a nice little run after catch for Smith. That's going to be good for 6 yards. That'll make it 3rd down and 2. So again, just got to make sure that you stay in tempo here if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. 334, 333, 332. Looking at defensive coordinator for the Detroit Vikings, Brian Flores, who was an assistant in Pittsburgh before taking up that position. 3rd and 2, working from the Vikings' 35-yard line. Rodgers takes snap, Vikings bringing 4. Rodgers looking to his left, firing deep down the field. High ball. Metcalf brings it down. It's a great catch with the defender draped all over him. I believe that was Isaiah Rodgers, who had a massive week last week, who was number 8. Number 8 is, that was Jeff Okudah on the coverage. The one-time Detroit Lions. But Rodgers places that ball very nicely. DK Metcalf just able to go up, high point that football, bring it down over Okudah. And again, a nice job to hold on. And that's another 1st and 10 for the Steelers. 2:41, 2:40 left to go here in the quarter. Rodgers under center. Gainwell is the single back. Going to be a quick slant again to DK Metcalf, who's getting a big focus on this first drive. He's going to carry defenders forward, and that'll pick up a 1st down with forward progress as he gets all the way up to the Minnesota Viking 8-yard line. And some pushing and shoving after the play, as there was a bit of a scrum afterwards. And yet, the Rodgers to Metcalf slant game is working here in the early stages. Isaiah Rodgers was in coverage that time, number 2. Metellus also in there for the tackle. So finding a way to get DK Metcalf the ball here early in the game. 13 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns so far this season. So 1st and goal now, working from the 8-yard line. Rodgers going to send Gainwell out in motion wider. Rodgers now effectively alone in the gun, takes snap, looking left, firing. Kenneth Gainwell down to the 5, going to try to scramble past the defender. Going to get down inside the 2 to about the 1.5-yard line as Gainwell unable to find his way in. And I don't know if you just heard, but some bikes just rode past my house. But yeah, again, Rodgers, I think, again, just doing a nice job. Kenneth Gainwell slipping a little bit as he tried to get past Metellus, number 44, for the Vikings. So it's going to be 2nd and goal now from the 2. Kenneth Gainwell remains in the game. It's going to be an offset eye. So there is a fullback in the game. That's number 83, who's lined up in front of the running back. It's going to be a handoff to the left. Gainwell into the end zone. Pittsburgh scores. And with 55 seconds left in the first quarter, Kenneth Gainwell gets a rushing touchdown. And the Steelers will take a 6-3 lead. Of course, extra point will be pending here. But a nice drive there by Pittsburgh, keeping the ball moving, doing a nice job. Again, just getting the ball out quickly. And good blocking there in the business zone to open up that hole to allow Kenneth Gainwell to scramble in from 1.5 yards out. And so Steelers take a 6-3 lead here in Dublin. Chris Boswell out to attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So that'll be 1 extra point from the PAT as the Steelers take a 4-point lead. As we go to another commercial break here. And for anybody who's a bit newer to this sport, there are a good bit of commercial breaks. Welcome to American sports. Outside of hockey is pretty good about not having too many commercial breaks. But yeah, again, looking to get back underway when we return from commercial. So it gives me a chance to properly look at comments. Nocturne, I saw don't put Caleb Johnson on kick returns. I think Mike Tomlin, I think Caleb Johnson might be persona non grata on that front, unfortunately. So that may not be something to worry about. I'm definitely worried about Caleb Johnson's future based on how he's kind of been treated since making that mistake against Seattle, specifically last week. I understand benching a guy. I remember pulling a guy off of that. I forgot if I started Gainwell this week in fantasy. Really hope you did. Especially with Jaylen Warren, who is normally the Steelers starter and normally is kind of the leader in all-purpose yards for this Steelers offense. Normally, that's somebody who you might have more on the bench, but of course, with Jaylen Warren being ruled out with a knee injury early this morning for anybody over here in the U.S., that of course is going to be a factor there, just to kind of keep in mind. But again, at commercial here, so it'll be a couple of minutes before we get back underway. And so hopefully I've done a decent enough job at explaining some stuff. Again, just checking a couple of things. I want to pull up a game day chat here. Actually, we'll go ahead and pull that up. But yeah, very solid drive from the Steelers. Saw a little bit of the run game starting to work in places. But again, still seem to be heavily relying on that pass game. Especially that short pass game still seems to be a lot of the focus for this offense. And when you have Aaron Rodgers, when you have DK Metcalf, who is a big physical threat, who can shed tackles, when you got a whole bunch of good tight end options, and Freiermuth, less so in Smith, I would argue, but he's Arthur Smith's catnip. John Smith is a hell of a drug. That all those things could still prove to be a factor, but I don't know. We are back out of commercial, though. So getting ready to get kicked back off, and the kick from Boswell is away. It'll be fielded up at the 2, up over the 10 to the 15, up the middle to up over the 25, and just short of the 30 is where Ty Felton will be taking down. So mentioned on that field goal attempt by Minnesota that Brian O'Neill, one of the starting Vikings O-linemen, went down with an injury. They're reporting on the field that he is in the locker room. So that's a big loss for this Vikings offense. So I believe that is the right guard for Minnesota who came up injured. Wentz going to go under center here. Going to be a little bit of a toss, but up the middle is Mason. He's going to cut it back left. He's going to just about, oh no, Jalen Ramsey with a very nice tackle there to save that from becoming a bigger play, as it's only going to hold Jordan Mason at 2 yards there. Some nice vision to try and cut back, but should be only one more play left in the corner. They're going to rule it as 2nd and 9 on the broadcast. Vikings trying to retain their undefeated 4-0 record in their international matchups. So, of course, this would be number 5. So, clock winding down again. This should be the last play of the first quarter. 2nd down and 9, working from their own 31. Wentz takes a snap, looking, firing to his right, deep down the field. Is that caught? That is caught, because we do have another bot that I need to remove. So, hopefully, there we go. So, that bot's gone. But up over, I believe that was Darius Slade. Jordan Addison with a very nice catch. Very close to what we saw from DK Metcalf just one drive ago. And so Jordan Addison now on the board as we head to the end of the first quarter. Your score, Pittsburgh 7, Minnesota 3. Yeah, I got to keep an eye on these bots, man. I got to pay attention to chat a little bit more when I'm doing actual commentary, just so that way I can deal with bots. I think luckily, it's at a point where chat isn't super busy, so can still kind of manage to deal with them as they pop in, or just kind of got to nuke them real quick. I don't want to put it in subscribers only mode, just because I feel like if somebody comes through who's interested in chatting for a little bit, who doesn't necessarily want to subscribe, definitely would be interested in having a chat with them. So that's some of the reasoning behind that. Does mean I got to pay attention, though, which is annoying at times. But, end of the day, it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. But once again, we're in the quarter break here. So again, got a brief commercial. I believe the official timing on it is 3.5 minutes for media timeouts. Don't quote me on that exact figure. I'm just trying to remember. I think it's, somewhere, it's like 3 to 3.5 minutes is media timeouts. And, again, if you are brand new to the NFL media timeouts or something that you see at both the NFL level as well as at the collegiate level, again, you have the sponsors there, so they want to get their money's worth. Also helps keep players a little bit more fresh, which is definitely nice when you got 220 pound to 100-kilo men running at 15 miles an hour at each other. That one I don't have a conversion for, but just to get it's 100-kilo men in armor running full speed at each other for 3 hours. And that's why we all have concussions. So, just something to kind of keep in mind there. But again, 45 minutes left to play. And I think in this first quarter, I think there's been moments for both sides of the ball for both teams. Obviously, Vikings did a great job forcing a Steelers 3 and out. Steelers offense and Vikings offense have both been pretty efficient. And the Steelers defense has still had its moments here and there. So there's still been opportunities on all facets of the ball. Obviously, he had that scoop and score wiped away because Jordan Mason did a good job to kind of touch that ball while out of bounds. But Vikings looking to get back underway here. Wentz going to be working out of the gun from the Steelers 47. Going to be a quick screen out to the left. It's going to be Jefferson up over the 45. He's going to be tackled at about the 42-yard line. Patrick Queen in there on the stop, but not before Jefferson picks up about 5 yards. It's going to be second down and 5 here. Clock, of course, continues to roll here in the second quarter. So again, I think you're seeing a lot of the same game plan from both offensive play callers here. You're trying to get the ball out quick. You're trying to neutralize the pass rush that is so potent for both of these sides. Wentz under center. Takes a snap, going to be a toss to the left for Jordan Mason. Jack Sawyer, and it's going to be a nice tackle for loss. As I was, I believe, number 4. Actually, no, that was Roman Wilson first on the scene for the tackle. The Steelers' middle linebacker getting a nice stop there. It's going to bring up a loss of 2. That'll make it 3rd down and 7 now. So Peyton Wilson with a very nice stop here as we creep under 14 minutes left to go in the half. Again, 3rd down and 7. So certainly not impossible here. Wentz in the gun, running back lined up to his right. That's to the near side of the screen. Quick check at the line. Play clock winding down. And you got a penalty flag. You have a false start here. So we got our first false start penalty of the game. So for some context there for anybody new, if you are a member of, so once you get set preparing for the ball, you cannot move unless you are brought in motion before the ball is snapped. So if you're an O-lineman, once you get set into your stance on the line, if you move, if you flinch, then that results in a 5-yard penalty. Similarly, the defense can't jump, try to make you react. That would be offsides. That'll make it 3rd down and 12 here as the Vikings pushed all the way back to midfield. 3 wide receivers potentially for Wentz to the near side. Running back coming in motion to that same near side. Wentz looking left, pumps, trying to escape to his right, and he's going to be sacked back down at the 40-yard line. It's Nick Herbig finding his way home, and that's going to push the Vikings well out of field goal range. And that means we should be seeing the Vikings punt unit for the first time today on 4th and 23. It's going to be a loss of 10 here as the Steelers edge rusher is doing a nice job. Herbig working one-on-one, able to beat the Vikings left tackle Christian Jarasaw, and Wentz nowhere to go. And Herbig doing a great job there, getting that stop. And so the Steelers with an opportunity to take back over and potentially extend their lead. The punt is away. And so it's going to fall just shy of the 20-yard line. Takes a little bit of a Vikings bounce, but it will eventually come to a rest at the 20-yard line, and that's going to be where it is touched down. And so once again, go to a commercial break as we're taking a look at Dublin, which I definitely have a plan to visit for a college football game in a couple of years. So definitely will be in Dublin myself in 2 years as my alma mater takes on my first employer. So that should be a fun game to go and witness. And, of course, drink a lot of Guinness that I don't have. You know what? Considering this is a commercial break, I am going to step away because I'm about to go full Wisconsin. I I'm continuing to try and work on clearing out my fridge. And so we got something for this game. I'll be right back. So as much as I wouldn't recommend doing this at what is just after 9 a.m. Central Time on a Sunday, in which I have things to do later in the game, I do have 2 beers in my fridge that I want to finish. And because I'm an adult who can make my own decisions, that's exactly what I'm going to do. They're certainly not good decisions, but I have the beers. I can drink the beers if I want, and nobody's going to stop me. We are at commercial here, so I think my broadcast is having a little bit. So Fubo might have heard me just now because my game is currently buffering. Let's see. Yeah, we are back here, so I am going to watch on my phone as I try to. Oh, wait, no, that's the start of the game. Damn you, Chromecast. Okay, come on, work with me here. Trying to figure it out. Fubo doesn't want me to drink beers. Fubo wants me to be more of an adult. Let's see. There we go. We are back, so we are set back up. But again, should be back in a comfortable spot. And yeah, I think we're good to go. We are, again, coming out of the commercial break. And Aaron, 8 for 65 yards so far. As we got one from this, we'll do one in the second quarter and we'll do one in the fourth quarter. Since I have to be a little bit careful. But yeah, I am legitimately cracking a beer. But we are back. Aaron Rodgers 5 of 5 for 53 yards so far on quick passes. First down and 10. Under 12:30 left to go. Rodgers, Skronik in motion to the near side. Rodgers takes a snap. Looking, firing, over the middle, complete. DK Metcalf over the 40, 45, 50, up over midfield, 45, 40, 35, 30. Calvin Austin there to scored him. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. It's one play, 80 yards. And it's the first Steelers big play of the season. And DK Metcalf, after being incredibly quiet through the opening part of the year, finds his way home. It's a good thing I pre-cracked that beer because DK Metcalf just on a bit of a post route, able to field at the 35 and just pulls away. Game-breaking speed. Calvin Austin with an incredible downfield block as well, taking that last safety out of the game. And DK Metcalf rumbles all the way in for a Pittsburgh score. And he is gone. And that'll make it a 13-3 lead. PAT from Boswell is up and good. So that'll make it a 14-3 lead. And just like that, Steelers get that touchdown back that they missed out on from the scoop and score. And like lightning, the Steelers strike. And now, the beer makes sense. I knew what this is a sign from God that I need to be more of an alcoholic. That is not actual advice. Don't follow that. That results in you needing a new liver in a much shorter time. But hey, it's good to see an explosive play. Good to see us attacking the middle of the field as well there with Metcalf. But yeah, big play there. And, sadly it's not on brand. I didn't get Guinness yesterday just because I was busy. Otherwise, I'd totally be drinking Guinness right now. But hey, we continue on regardless. And I just spilled some of myself. All right. Yeah. I didn't spill any on myself. It was just a little bit, luckily. It wasn't like a whole ton just down my front, but yeah. Of course, Spotted Cow is very smooth. If you ever are lucky enough to head up to Wisconsin, I would definitely recommend New Glarus beer. Can only find in Wisconsin. So going to be keeping an eye on that as things continue. Of course, if you are joining, definitely appreciate that. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Of course, we'll do Steelers reaction videos every week after games. Try to stream as many games as I physically can. Sometimes, of course, for technical difficulties, there's the struggle of out-of-market games, and do stream every Monday night game. So keep an eye on that. As we got a ton of people, we got 9 people in chat right now. So, of course, thank you for joining. I know a couple of them have been bots. So, again, we're keeping an eye on the band hammer. We're keeping it ready. And ultimately, be scared of the band hammer. Its drinker is now somewhat impaired. But, salud. Or was it Slancha? I forget what Slancha is. Slancha might be Eastern European. Viperize can correct me on what the, Irish, to your health. I can only do my Irish accent is kind of shitty. I try to keep it not super in-depth, but it's kind of there, just not really. It's bad. But yeah, DK Metcalf, again, really good scheme to get DK Metcalf in the open window. We are coming back, though, and Boswell is set to kick this ball away, and I'm buffering once again. So again, Fubo does not want me to drink alcohol. But we're going to be a little bit further behind. Kick is away, though. Going to be fielded at the 5, up to the 10 on the far side, 15, 20. Keeps it on that far side. Tries to lower his shoulder up over the 25. It's going to be Connor Hayward, ultimately, who is credited with the stop. But that's where the Minnesota offense will take back over. Again, working from the 25-yard line. Carson Wentz going to come back out for first down and 10 with 12-11 left to go here in the first half. So Steelers defense starting to wake up here. I think there's definitely been some moments that this Vikings offense has started to continue to threaten. It's been that pass game. It's been getting Jordan Addison the ball, letting him rumble a little bit, just letting him make plays further down the field. It's going to be a handoff to Jordan Mason running to the left. He's going to be met in the backfield and taken down for a loss. Keanu Benton first on the scene. So the Steelers' run defense may be starting to wake up a little bit here. They're also highlighting Darius Slay in there, who I believe was one of the other Steelers who crashed on, but it was Keanu Benton on the defensive line who got some really good penetration, was able to beat his man off the snap, and able to result in a loss of about half a yard. They still call it second down and 10 here on the broadcast. Wentz going under center. They're going to motion out to an empty set now. 3 potential wide receivers to the near side, but it's going to be 2 wide receivers by position to the far side. Wentz in the gun, working from his own 26, takes the snap. Surveying the field, 4-man rush for the Steelers. Wentz over the middle, fires, complete. Jordan Addison up over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. So again, going to be a pickup of about 5 yards there, so at half the distance to pick up that first down. Again, going to make it 3rd down and 5 now as the clock rolls under 11:10, 11:9, 11:8 left to go here in the half. So clock going to continue to run, and another big 3rd down here for Terrell Austin's men. Terrell Austin, of course, being the Steelers' defensive coordinator and I believe play caller. I don't believe Mike Tomlin calls coverages. But Wentz in the gun. Again, it's going to be 2 receivers either side. Going to be a check at the line. I think we're going to have a timeout here called by Minnesota. Actually, no, it's going to be Pittsburgh here that calls timeout. So Mike Tomlin not liking the look at the line. And so with 10:47 left to go, Pittsburgh will use their first of 3 timeouts in the half. I do need to figure out a way to... I should probably start tracking timeouts. I definitely need to kind of figure out something there. Well, I'll figure that out eventually. I could probably, figure out, probably get a football in there as well. But as of right now, I don't know. I like the kind of simplistic scoreboard where it just, hey, you got the teams, you got their colors, you got the score. And of course, that Irish flag behind the second quarter. A bit of a one-off for this one. I figured, hey, let's get on theme. I did completely steal this idea from Minnesota Vikings fan Minnesota Vikings fan or man 28. I know him as Adam, but I stole this idea from him after seeing his scoreboard. But Wentz out of the gun, empty set once again. Takes a snap. Steelers bring in 4. Wentz over the middle, complete to Justin Jefferson, and that was through a sea of a couple of defenders. So a very tight throw there, and it is enough to pick up a Minnesota first down. That was Adam Thielen on the grab, number 19. On again, really nice hitch route. He had a bit of a sim pressure for the Steelers. Carson Wentz doing a nice job finding Thielen on a quick little hitch route as Peyton Wilson came on a blitz. Meant Patrick Queen had to go to try to cover him, just couldn't quite get over there in time, and that left Thielen open, so it's first down. Once again for Minnesota, Wentz going to motion Mason back into the backfield. He's going to go under center here. Play clock winding down. Takes a snap. Fakes the handoff to Mason. Pressure coming up the middle. Wentz has to step up in the pocket. Pumps. Tries to escape. And he's going to fall forward. He's going to pick up about a yard. But TJ Watt is going to be credited with his first tackle of the day with just under 10 minutes to play. But good work from the Steelers pass rush to force Carson Wentz, the Vikings quarterback, to have to scramble a little bit, try and make a play happen. Jordan Addison, again, just fine. Jordan Addison's been doing a great job here, working out of the slot, getting open. Justin Jefferson. Too many J names to keep in mind. Just working on a bit of a cover 3 look there from the Pittsburgh defense. That's 3 high safeties and then 4 underneath. Wentz in the shotgun. Takes a snap, looking right, firing, complete. Justin Jefferson, again, quick little hitch route. He's going to head forward. He's going to pick up about 7 yards there as he works into Pittsburgh territory. But makes it a third and much more manageable 2 here for the Minnesota offense. Gives them a bit more opportunities. Ramsey and Slay in there on the coverage. And, of course, that's Justin Jefferson's 6th catch of the day already. He's up to 51 yards. 9 minutes left to go in the half as the Vikings offense continue to roll here, continue to chew a lot of clock. They've held the ball pretty comfortably. They've done a good job at possessing the ball in the early stages. Steelers showing some pressure here, though, on 3rd and 1. They're going to drop into coverage. It's going to be handoff to Jordan Mason, who's going to get close. It's going to be very close. It's going to depend on where they spot the ball here. But Jordan Mason, it's going to be very tight. I think the tip of the ball will probably be spotted just beyond that first down marker. If not, it's going to be 4th and inches, and I imagine the Vikings offense will end up going for it. And so we do have a timeout here. So we are going to have the virtual chain gang being brought out. So again, 8:22, 14-3 lead. We got another bot, so good timing here. You can get banned. Bye. See you later. So again, good timing. It's good to see that I'm popular enough that bots are showing up, but, hey, it's, little bits here and there. Yeah, I think Jordan Mason did enough to... Actually, no, they're going to spot it short. So 9 inches short. So it's going to be 1st and under a foot to go here for the Minnesota Vikings. So it's 4th down. Vikings offense will stay out on the field as they are just shy of midfield. So big moment here for the Steelers defense to potentially stand firm. So 9 inches from the first down. About 8 minutes left to go in the half. Wentz under center. Justin Jefferson will be the running back. It's going to be the fullback, and it's going to be a first down and almost more. I thought Jordan Mason was about to break off a big run there, but it'll get into Steelers territory. I think it's going to be good for about 7 or 8 yards. It's going to be down all the way to the Steelers' 45-yard line. As, just moving Justin Jefferson out there just does a great job, just completely fools the Steelers defense. Patrick Queen bought on it hard. Jordan Mason, of course, with the football, and he's going to be eventually tackled after a nice pickup there. So will be the 8th play of the drive. Oh, bit of a voice crack there. 30 yards so far, working from their own 45. Quick screen out to the left. That's going to be good for about 3 yards there. Number 36, who I'm not familiar with who 36 is, so we'll go ahead. Who is number 36 for the Vikings? That is Xavier Scott, the backup running back, on the catch there to pick up 3 yards. So again, just doing everything they can to keep that ball rolling here in the early stages. 2nd and 7, cross under 7 minutes left to go. He'll remain in the game as the single back. Wentz, quick check at the line. You can see the alert call as he touches his helmet, signaling all the other players. It's going to be a toss to the right. Jets a tackler as Jalen Ramsey flies in, but it's still going to go down as a tackle for loss. Juan Thornhill will be credited with the eventual tackle for loss. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the pitch play. It's going to make it 3rd down and 8 as Xavier Scott just unable to find an opening. And yeah, it's just I think it's just great recognition there from Jalen Ramsey on a bit of a schemed corner blitz. As you know, Jalen Ramsey doing a nice job getting in there, but then again, very nice tackle by Juan Thornhill in the open field to get that stop. Wentz now, empty set. It's going to be bunch trips to the far side. That's 3 potential wide receivers all grouped together. Wentz looking to that left-hand side, firing over the middle. Intercepted! It's intercepted by the Steelers. It's Deshaun Elliott on return from injury, keeping the Vikings off the board. And it's the first official turnover of the day as Deshaun Elliott picks it off. And the Steelers this time get to go celebrate. A little bit of Irish dancing there for Elliott. And yeah, just a great read. Pass intended for Jordan Addis and Patrick Queen also in coverage. And so that'll give the Steelers an opportunity to take back over when we come back with 5:50 left to go here in the half. And so a chance to potentially take an even bigger lead before heading into the break. And luckily, this gives me a chance to drink more beer. We're definitely in points here where it's, energy's gonna be sliding throughout the game. And hey, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna enjoy it. And we'll see what all happens. But, been a very solid game for the Steelers team so far. You're going to be smashed. Alexis, I only have 2 beers, so I'm not going to be smashed. But I'll still probably feel it a little bit. Most of it will clear my system. This is, how strong is this beer? This is still that same beer that I started with. I was just talking so much that I didn't dive into it. Is there the ABV on this? ABV. I don't think the ABV is on here. Let me check the box. So it's 24 ounces of beer that I'll be drinking. Do they have it on the box? I don't think they have it on the box. All right, I'll look this up. Depending on how the Ravens game goes later, taking an even bigger lead in the North could be big for the Steelers' playoff chances. I think, the schedule only gets harder from here. Of course, still all 6 divisional games on the docket. Of course, for anybody new, to give you an idea about scheduling. There are 8 divisions, split 4 and 4 between 2 conferences. You play all 3 other teams in your division, since divisions are made up of 4 teams. You play each team in your division twice, home and away. You then have, I believe it's 2 sets of 4 games against 2 other divisions. So for the Steelers play in the AFC North. So AFC is the conference, North is the division. We play against the NFC North, and I forget the other division. I think it's the West, maybe? And then one other game with 17 games. Taking a look, of course, at Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, who hopefully everybody booed the first time he was shown on the screen. Of course, taking a look at Deshaun Elliott with that very nice interception on 3rd down on the sidelines. But, again, opening 3 and 1 going into the bye, should this result hold, would be a very solid start. Rodgers working out of the gun. Gainwell lined up to his left. Bit of a low snap. Rodgers to his left. Complete. Darnell Washington. Mount Washington with his first showing of the game. Going to get up to about the 39-yard line there as the massive Steelers tight end doing a nice job. And again, it was Jalen Ramsey with the call, changing the coverage that led to that interception. 2nd down and 3. Kenneth Gainwell remains in the game, lined up to Rodgers' left. 3 tight ends set here for the Steelers. Actually, 2 tight ends set. Handoff to Gainwell, going to go up the middle, going to pick up the first down as he gets over the Steelers' 42-yard line. So does good work there to pick up the first down as across under 5 minutes left to go. So Steelers' run game has been involved a little bit today. Again, hasn't been quite what I've wanted to see, but definitely has, we've seen like little bits and pieces here and there that have been promising, and the run game has been there when we've needed it, which has been a nice little change. Rodgers in the gun. Play clock is winding down. It's going to be a quick check at the line here on 1st down and 10. Rodgers takes snap. Vikings bringing 5. Rodgers looking over the middle. I think was looking for somewhere between Jonnu Smith and Kenneth Gainwell. But that pass is going to fall incomplete. May have gotten batted at the line by Jonathan Allen. But that's going to make it 2nd down and 10. They're highlighting DK Metcalf here, who's had a very good game. And, I think we're finally getting into a point where we're using some of DK Metcalf's strengths. Getting him the ball in stride, kind of over the middle, letting him go run and take off and use that size and speed that he has. But also, giving him a chance at some of those 50-50 balls. Quick toss to the left. Going to be a nice run by Gainwell. He's going to shed a couple of tacklers. Going to get up over midfield into Vikings territory, down to the 49-yard line on a very nice toss to the left. And so that'll make it 3rd down and 1. So again, you're starting to see little bits and pieces start to happen. That quick pass game potentially starting to open up a little bit of pieces in the run game. I'm highlighting DK Metcalf on the broadcast right now. 4 catches, 122 yards, and that touchdown. Of course, a large part of that coming from that 80-yard touchdown strike. But 3rd and 1 here, 4 minutes left to go in the half. Rodgers under center. Going to be a bit more of the blocking lineup here. Rodgers up the middle. Kenneth Gainwell picks up the 1st down. So the Steelers drive continues going here as Kenneth Gainwell picks up 2 yards. And again, Steelers offense continuing to go at it here. And there's a flag after the play, a bunch of jawing. Sayumalo involved. Roger Jones was separating Jonathan Allen of the Vikings away from the scrum. A whole bunch of flags are thrown. So we're going to see what happens here. And so Skowronek gets pushed, and I think it's going to be Byron Murphy. So Sayumalo was going after Byron Murphy, and I think Skowronek did a nice job of selling the penalty. So still no call on the broadcast yet. But yeah, Skowronek getting a little high five from Mike Tomlin. Yeah, we got unnecessary roughness on the Vikings. So because of the late hit, it's going to be an extra 15 yards that the Pittsburgh Steelers will pick up. So Ben Skowronek doing a nice job of drawing a penalty. Ben Skowronek has been a surprisingly nice piece to the Steelers offense. We saw him at a couple of here and there flashes over the course of last season. But he's kind of moved up into that wide receiver 3 slot, which has been really surprising considering we took Roman Wilson last year. But again, Skowronek has looked solid. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on as this game continues. Of course, Skowronek to the sideline, DK Metcalf checking into the game. 1st down and 10. Steelers now working from all the way down at the Minnesota 32. So 32 yards from the end zone. Caleb Johnson in the game as the single back. It's going to be a toss to him running left. Not going to be able to find a hole. He's going to fall forward. Only pick up about 1 yard there. As there's not quite enough as much of a hole opening up. So Caleb Johnson continuing to have a bit of struggles in the run game. The Steelers' 3rd round of rookie. Hopefully going to continue to get more touches throughout this game due to the absence of Jaylen Warren. Would love to see, again, would rather see Caleb Johnson be set up to work a little bit more north and south. Set him up on an inside zone, set him up on a couple of dives, have him run in between the guards, run in between the tackles, since that's, I think, what he's a little bit more comfortable with. And we've seen Kenneth Gainwell do a little bit of that in this game. Rodgers in the gun, running back lined up to his right. Darnell Washington coming in motion to the near side. Play clock winding down. They do get the snap off. 4-man rush for the Vikings. Rodgers going to dump it off to Johnson, who's going to drop it. And so Caleb Johnson's struggles continue here as he drops that pass. Dallas Turner would have been on the scene very quickly. So it wouldn't have been a gain of much. But with 2:34 left to go here in the second, I'll make it 3rd down and 9. And Brian Flores doing a nice job there creating pressure. Rodgers out of the gun, a little bit more tempo. Vikings showing blitz here. We'll see how many they bring. Again, trying to hard count them at the line. Play clock winding down. Get the snap off again. Rodgers drops, 4-man rush. Has to escape. Steps up in the pocket. Scrambling around. He's going to take off running. Up on the 30, 25, 20. Drops the football. It's fielded by Roger Jones, who then pushes it for another 3 yards. And that's a Steelers 1st down. 41-year-old Aaron... What? So, I mean, that that's an insane sequence of events. So Aaron Rodgers scrambles for 12, picks up the first down, fumbles the football, and the Steelers' left tackle picks it up and runs it for an extra 4 yards. So it's going to be, at the end of things, about a 16-yard gain. And it's just great heads-up play there from Broderick Jones, who basically has the ball fall right into his lap. So, I mean, hey, we'll take it. Dre Greenlaw forced the fumble there. What just happened? I see a future in broadcasting. Thank you, Unclean Maze. Definitely enjoy doing this, and of course appreciate the compliment. Definitely trying to take a little bit. Definitely listened to a lot of radio as a kid, so definitely have a lot of background there. But always appreciate the compliment. And I've been practicing for a little bit. I've been doing a little bit of commentary for F1 esports for a league that I participate in. And so, I've certainly had some practice there. But hey, I'm passionate. I enjoy football. And hey, if I get to share that with you, it's all the better. And so always appreciate it. And if you're enjoying the stream, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. I'm not going to forget the YouTuber thing. Definitely going to make sure to get that in. Also, might try to branch out at some point, get in a couple of other sports. Of course, you got the MLB kind of getting into the backside of there. Could give a look at that. Could look at a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, hey, we enjoy sports. I'm going to watch them. I might as well share that. Once again, at the 2-minute break here in the second quarter, Steelers, I believe, can be working from the 14 of the Vikings. As I believe, because it would be, because we were at, I think, the 32, so that's going to result in about an 18-yard gain, maybe 16 at the end of things. But yeah, Broderick Jones officially has 4 rushing yards as a Steeler. So always good to see a big man rumble, even if it's not exactly what you'd expect. Also good ball security as from Jones as well. So, hey, at the end of the day, I ain't going to complain as to what happened. And, yeah. You see the downside? Yeah, RB1, Broderick Jones. You see the downside with a career in broadcasting is I can't drink beer while I'm doing it at 9:30 in the morning. Maybe you can make an excuse when you're in Dublin where, hey, I'm totally not drinking Guinness, and just chugs it. But who knows? Yeah, running back 1, Broderick Jones. The other Arteta finally listened to. I don't think does that game start at, the game starts at, I think, in an hour, right, Alexis? Because lineups should just be out. Aaron Rodgers, saying just how it got drawn up. I'll have to take a look at the starting lineup, but it's going to be placed at the 15. Steelers lining up in the I formation, so they got a fullback and a running back lined up. Ben Skoranek again getting a lot of snaps. And it's going to be fake the handoff. Rodgers rolling left. It's going to be Darnell Washington again. He's going to get up over the 15 trying to fight off tacklers. He's going to get down to the 10 before he's forced out of bounds. So Darnell Washington picking up his second catch of the day. Good to see the big-bodied Steelers tight end picking up a couple of grabs. That'll make it 2nd down and 5 here. And so Aaron Rodgers had 2 defenders, 2 Minnesota defenders bearing down on him as well. So again, a very nice job there from the Pittsburgh quarterback to get the ball out. And they're just mentioned on the broadcast, Darnell Washington and his 7-foot wingspan. Connor Hayward coming in motion to the near side, 2nd down and 5, working from the 10-yard line. Somehow they get the snap off. Rodgers trying to evade the sack. He's going to be swung down, though. And so Jalen Redmond going to get there with the sack, and he's going to absolutely throw Rodgers to the turf. And it's just right up the middle. And so after that, really nice job getting the ball out by Rodgers. There's just nowhere to go that time. Seumalo, I think Jones and Seumalo just have a bit of a miscommunication there. Oh, and that's a missed horse collar as well. Oh, come on. He grabbed him by the back of the jersey. Freiermuth is active nocturne, which is certainly a bit confusing for me. I definitely would like to see Freiermuth get more targets. I'm not sure if he has gotten injured at some point in this game because I really haven't seen a lot of him. Actually, I will look that up real quick. We do have a timeout, Minnesota. At least, let's see. Yeah, I know Fryermuth, at least coming into this game, was active. And actually, you can see him on the field right now. I just think, either he has had his workload decreased by a little bit, just due to maybe a nagging injury, or maybe just isn't as much in the game plan this one. Rodgers in the gun. Kenneth Gainwell lined up to his right. 3rd and 15. Vikings bringing 5. Rodgers over the middle, going to check it down to Gainwell up for the 15. Going to shuttle a tackler, but is going to end up getting tackled down at the 12-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down, unlike the Steelers field goal unit. So with 1:44 left to go in the game, the Vikings get a nice stop. And so it's going to be a field goal attempt coming. That'll be the Vikings' 2nd timeout of the game. And they're going to have a quick break here. But yeah, Fryermuth is active. But again, I don't think he has a target today, which is a bit confusing. It is good to see, though, Darnell Washington getting more targets, just because I think he showed even in limited targets last season that there's still a lot of potential there to just kind of hit Darnell Washington, and because of how big Washington is, he is very difficult to tackle. So you hit him with you hit him in the flat, you hit him with a quick drag route, and he can still potentially pick up another couple of yards after the catch. Chris Boswell, though, going to be lining up for a 30-yard attempt from the right hash. Again, 1:42 left to go in the half here. Boswell, snap, hold, kick. It's blocked. The kick is blocked. So Isaiah Rodgers. Yeah, Isaiah Rodgers blocks the field goal attempt. And so that'll go down as Boswell's first miss of the year. But it's another great play from the Vikings cornerback. And that's going to keep 3 points off the board for the Steelers. It does mean that the Vikings are going to only take over inside, I believe, their own 10. But, just as much as, you got those play moments from the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's one for the Minnesota Vikings, as that, that free rusher off the kind of left-hand side of Chris Boswell. As two, there are always going to be two guys who are going to be, if not unblocked, then very difficult to block, just because you have a holder, you have a kicker, and he's just, timed that snap up perfectly, and he gets home. So Steelers unable to take a 14-point lead. And that opens the door for the Vikings, although they do only have one timeout to be able to march down the field. We are, though, at commercial. And again, this is why we have beers to drink, because, there are moments. God damn it, bots. Get out of here. Go home, bot, you're drunk. Get out of here, Russia. I don't think it's Russia. It's either Russia or China. I don't know. But, still got, again, still time left for the Vikings to be able to potentially do something. Of course, a field goal cuts the lead, cuts the Steelers' lead to only one possession. So I think that's something important to keep in mind as this game carries on. That would open the door for the Vikings to go for a 2-point conversion later on in this contest. But we'll see if the Steelers defense can hold firm. Obviously, the interception by Deshaun Elliott on his return to the Steelers defense. Of course, he's been dealing with an injury since the opening game against the New York Jets. But we are coming out of commercial now. Again, just taking a look at, the field goal block. Who gets the ball? Yeah, Vikings get the ball to start the second half. And that's just a good job. So Vikings going to be taking over from inside their own 10. Vikings will get the ball to start the second half. So we're going to be working from their own 9. So a big potential moment. 1:38 left to go in the half. Again, only one timeout for the Vikings. Wentz takes a snap. 4-man rush for the Steelers. Wentz looking to his left. Pumps. Fires. Complete over the middle. And that's going to be good for, I think, about 10 yards there. This is the same scenario Rodgers was in last year in the London game. He's against the Vikings, except he's on the winning side. Hopefully, definitely hope so. There is a flag thrown. From the sound of things, it looks like it will be on the defense. Roughing? What do you mean roughing the passer? So Derek Harmon is getting penalized for roughing the passer here. Oh my God! He hit him in the helmet. Great. So that goes down as roughing the passer. So that's 15 free yards. And importantly, the clock stops here with 1 minute 15 seconds left to go here in the second half. And so that'll push the Vikings up to the, I believe, the 24-yard line, as I believe that's not going to be added on to the end of the run penalty. But only the first penalty of the game for the Steelers, and actually, it is going to be added on to the end of the run, so it's going to push the Vikings all the way up to the 34-yard line. So that's a big penalty there. They're going to bump the clock back up to 1 minute and 32 seconds, and this opens the door for Minnesota to potentially go get points before the end of this half. Wentz alone in shotgun. Steelers showing a potential 5-man rush as the play clock winds down. They're going to drop out of it. Wentz looking left, firing deep over his intended receiver. That was Scott, the backup running back he was looking for, and Scott had a step, but just he and Wentz not able to connect just beyond the outstretched hands of the Vikings running back. And so that'll make it 2nd down and 10. Clock once again going to stop. Patrick Queen in the area on coverage, but looked to be a little bit blown. So a lot of zone defense here early for the Steelers, and that's really what's been getting us burnt, just finding those little hitches. Of course, that was the benefit of what earned us that interception earlier in this game. Play clock winding down. Wentz in the shotgun, takes a snap. Big blitz from the Steelers. Wentz over the middle, complete to Justin Jefferson. Able to get it inside of Chuck Clark, going to continue to roll. Clock going to continue to roll as the Vikings work up over midfield. And they're going to go up tempo here as they get a fresh set of downs. Now working from Steelers territory at the 49-yard line. Running back lined up to Wentz's right. Wentz takes a snap. 4-man rush this time for the Steelers. Wentz looking, pumping, trying to step up, escaping to his right. And he's going to throw it. And that's going to be complete somehow. That one is going to be to Scott, the running back. And so that'll be good for 7. It'll make it 2nd down and 3 as the Vikings work their way down to the Steelers' 42 with 1 minute left to play. Block got some pressure in there, and it was just good work there from Wentz to get the ball out. But yeah, Steelers brought 7 on that completion to Jefferson. And again, it's just a nice completion with Peyton Wilson bearing down on Carson Wentz to find his wide receiver 1. I would believe it was Chuck Clark in coverage. And it was, decent coverage as well. Justin Jefferson was just better. 2nd down and 3. Wentz alone in the gun. Steelers bringing 4. Wentz drops, looks, tries to step up in the pocket, will escape, up the field, throws, complete, wide open. Justin Jefferson slips at the 15, and he's going to have Steelers bearing down on him. He's down all the way to the 12 as Wentz was about to take off running. But Jefferson just wide open as Steelers were running Tampa 2. Big gaps opened up as the safeties were both occupied with the deep receivers. It's going to be a new fresh set of downs all the way down to the 13 now for the Minnesota Vikings. Play clock continue to wind down. 30 seconds. Wentz, snap. Looks left. Pumps. Going to shovel it to the backup running back, who's going to be tackled for a loss. Patrick Queen doing a nice job keeping him in coverage. It's going to knock the Vikings all the way back to the 15-yard line. And so they're going to lose 2 yards here. And so with 22 seconds left in the game, it's going to be 2nd down and 12. Wentz was just about to be sacked as well. It's a great heads-up play to find a shovel pass. Oh, sorry. That was for the Justin Jefferson, the completion to Jefferson. So I'll play it very similar to that. But yeah, again, it's great work from Wentz to be able to improvise, extend that play for long enough to Jefferson to get just wide open deep in the Steelers' red zone. And yeah, very uncharacteristic from Jefferson, just with a bit of a slip there. trying to cut it up the field. Not sure if that would come down to some of the field conditions being not super perfect. Vikings do burn their last time out today. Justin Jefferson up to 8 catches for 99 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 12 here. Again, 24 seconds left to go in the half. Steelers fans waving those towels, trying to will the defense to get a big stop here just before the end of this first half. Wentz takes a snap, surveying the field. 4-man rush, fires to his left. Incomplete. It bounces off the hands of T.J. Hawkinson, who again had a beat on his defender, but not able to come away with it. It was Peyton Wilson in coverage, throw maybe a little bit behind the Vikings tight end, and it was just taking another look. And so it'll bounce off of Hawkinson's hands. I think that's the first time I've called out T.J. Hawkinson's name so far today. I expected Hawkinson to be a bit more of a factor in this Vikings attack, but it's really been all Jordan Addison as they've been moving him around really nicely. They've had him line up in the slot. They've had him line up all the way to the outside. They've been doing a nice job getting him work. Wentz in the gun here. 3rd down and 12. Steelers showing blitz. They're going to bring 5. Wentz going to heave it up towards the end zone. Out of bounds. Chuck Clark did catch it, but he was not quite able to get both feet down as Wentz just tried to heave that ball away. Just heave it out of bounds. We're taking a look at the replay here. And Darius Slay, just not quite able to come down with it. He came very, very close. But Steelers defense doing a nice job just about finding a way to hold back the Minnesota offense. And so dodging a bullet a little bit is Carson Wentz. It's going to be a 33-yard field goal attempt. Now can the Steelers special teams unit potentially try and pull one out of nowhere? 33-yard attempt from the right hash, and that was Jalen Ramsey's going to jump off sides there. So Jalen Ramsey trying to time it up. That will give the Vikings 5 more yards, but it does not give them a first down. That'll make it 4th down and 7 instead of 4th down and 12. So it's going to be now a 28-yard attempt for the Vikings. So we'll see if Ramsey tries to jump. Ramsey can jump again. There are still 5 more yards to give on this now 28-yard attempt, but would that result in the Vikings instead going for it? Snap is back, hold is good, kick is up, kick is good. And so the Vikings cut the lead to 8. It is now 14-6. I said 6. 6? What's going on here? Hold on, come on. Work with me here, computer. Hold on. Why is nothing working? Was I not clicking on it? What's going on? Hold on. We're trying to fix this. Technical difficulties. Whoops. Hold on. Work with me here. There we go. Apologies. There we go. Now we're good. Bam. Again, 14-6. I imagine this will be the score that we go into halftime with 12 seconds left to go here in the second half. Hopefully it doesn't accept that the field goal was good. Yeah, I mean, I wish that were the case, but sadly, it is, in fact, 14-6. So again, we're about set to kick it back away. Of course, Vikings are set to receive to start the second half. So again, I imagine that we're just going to basically head straight into the break. Again, still haven't kicked it away yet. Don't know why we're still waiting. Yeah, I mean, I think the benefit, so I guess for a little bit of context as well, for these game streams, I stream through OBS, and kick is away. It's going to be returned 5 to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Spin move by Gainwell, shed the tackler, but only gets as far as the 24. And so with 6 seconds left to go, I imagine we're just going to kneel it down here. And we'll be done to go. So yeah, we're seeing a bit of a background to the Steelers family, looking at Art Rooney. Of course, the Rooney family with Irish roots. But I believe that will take us to halftime. 1997 was the Steelers played a preseason game out here at this same stadium. I think I misspelled Crooke Park in the kind of run up to stuff. I think don't check my description to see if I misspelled Crooke Park because I think I did. But it is still the first regular season game in Dublin. Of course, Crooke Park, largest sporting arena in Dublin with a capacity of 82,300. And I think there's still a good chunk of Steelers fans and Vikings fans in attendance, but it's still pretty neutral. On the broadcast, they were showing some Raiders fans, some Bills fans, but that will take us into halftime. And so your score at the half is Steelers 14, Vikings 6. And so, again, into that halftime break, Vikings will get the ball back to start the second half. And we'll, of course, have to wait and see as to exactly how some of this all continues to unfold. But again, it's good work from the Steelers here in the first half. Of course, you got to continue that momentum through. I think that last Vikings drive may have swung momentum a little bit. I think it's assisted by the fact that we have done a nice job at holding this Vikings offense to a couple of points. We still have to play very clean, as the Vikings showed last week. They do have the potential to capitalize on those mistakes that you make, whether it's kind of little those mistakes here and there. And at the end of the day, you still have an 8-point lead. That's a pretty good first half. Oh, all right. And now, guys, I only drank like half of this beer. Like I haven't done shit. Ugh. But hey, now we gotta chill out. We gotta enjoy some beer, enjoy the halftime break, and ultimately just kind of see what happens. Of course, again, enjoying the game so far. We'll have to see how some of this kind of continues. But I think that if you're looking from a Steelers fan's perspective moving into the second half, I think the passing attack has been pretty good. I think a lot of that quick passing game kind of, I don't want to say hides some of the weaknesses in the run game that we've had, but I think that's the kind of only way to really put it, to really kind of voice how those changes, how those differences have kind of affected this game. We've seen a couple of good moments from the likes of Kenneth Gainwell, who's had a couple of nice rushes. Caleb Johnson really hasn't gotten it going. Of course, Aaron Rodgers somehow having 12 rushing yards, fumbling the ball, and Broderick Jones having 4 rushing yards, which is a thing and not a stat that I had on my bingo card. But again, it was largely, hey, we got that explosive play to DK Metcalf. We had that big interception, and those are really the different. Oh, excuse me. Those are the plays that are really the big difference makers right now. And so I think there's still a lot of potential for this game to continue to evolve from this point. I think you can't write the Vikings out of this game. I think not Aaron Jones. Who's the? God damn it! Who is the Vikings' leading running back? Jordan Mason. Thank you, brain, for eventually working. Jordan Mason is definitely somebody to keep an eye on. I think that Vikings running game has definitely had some solid moments. I think losing, thank you. I think losing, again, need to look up the player name because there was that Vikings injury to the O-line early in the half. Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, getting injured on that first field goal attempt for the Minnesota Vikings was definitely a big impact, and we'll see how much that kind of continues to swing the game. But pass rushes have both been pretty even. Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers have both been sacked twice. Carson Wentz has still been pretty efficient, 16 to 20 for 154. Obviously, the interception in tow, and then Aaron Rodgers 12 of 14 for 165. Had they said what the injury is? I have not heard anything yet. I have not heard if he is going to return or not either. But especially when you've got TJ Watt on that side of the ball, that means not only are you going to have to potentially divert more resources to trying to keep TJ Watt away from Carson Wentz, that's going to open up the doors for Herbig, for Benton, for Hayward, for kind of the entirety of the Steelers pass rush. You've seen, you've seen Jalen Ramsey come blasting in a little bit. Peyton Wilson has had a pretty solid game. Derek Harmon, Yaya Black could also play a factor as well. So again, something to keep in mind. I think definitely I will try to keep an eye and see if they do report anything on that injury as we kind of continue on here. But, All right, I do want to do something real quick. I know we don't have a whole ton of viewers here, but I at least want to do something nice for a man who invited me to do a bit of a preview during apologies for a man who swung by was lucky enough to invite me to do a kind of little preview on his channel. So if you could go over, I will go ahead and throw his link in chat. So this is Minnesota Vikings Man 28. If you can go ahead and hit that link. If you would be so kind as to go over and say hi from Bacon, that would, of course, be very much appreciated. We're going to do a little bit of a raid of... Oh, shit! Tom! Holy shit! What's up, Tom? I was just setting up a raid for Adam. Hey, I saw you this time, Tom. Hey, what's up, Flossie? Good to see everybody here. You, of course, got everybody coming in. I'm glad that I was paying attention this time because last year for a game, I missed you. But of course, hello everybody. We got a bunch of Steelers fans. One sec. I got a whole bunch of Steelers stuff. So I'll give you a nice little towel wave. Got some Go Bucks in here. We got some Ireland stuff. We got a whole bunch of raid. But of course, great to see you all. And hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are enjoying this game so far. Of course, I'm lucky enough to not only be a member of Tom's, but I'm also lucky enough to be a mod over on the Discord. So if you are a mod, definitely be sure to, or if you are a mod, if you are a member for Grossi, definitely make sure to join the Discord. A whole ton of wonderful people in there, and you'll get plenty of shit from me here and there. If you are a Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Patriots, or Cowboys fan, because those five can all go to hell. But again, hopefully you're enjoying this game. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful day. And thank you, of course, for dropping by. But of course, really much appreciate some subscriptions or some likes while you're over here. Try and do every Monday. We got some bot and some clanker stuff. Was there a bot that I missed? I don't think there was a bot that I missed. But again, very much appreciate you dropping by. You spending even a little bit of time here at the halftime break, swinging by. Also, Tom, if you haven't done so already, and you are still watching, and you haven't done so yet, definitely make sure to go say hi to Adam, Minnesota Vikings Man 28. Was kind enough to let me on for his preview of this game last night. So definitely make sure to go show him some love as well, as he is another member of the Grossi community. So again, always appreciated, and thank you for stopping by. But again, still at the halftime break here. Been a pretty good game so far. I think the Steelers have been playing very well. I need to plug my computer in because we're about to die. Crap, I did not prepare. I was kind of hoping this happened, but of course, got Go Steelers from David McConnell. Always appreciated. But yeah, I mean, been a great game. I think Steelers have played pretty well to start it off. Offense has shown a nice little bit of explosiveness. DK Metcalf, obviously with that big 80-yard or 75-yard touchdown grab. I don't entirely remember. Run game hasn't quite been perfect. We got a Vikings fan swinging by, sending love, so definitely appreciate that, and certainly best of luck to you in the second half. And so, still a lot left to go. And of course, you got the opening game of today, and definitely a bunch of other games that are good to keep an eye on as we move throughout the day. Eagles-Bucks, I think one of the headliners. And again, we're going to have to see what happens. I think that this first drive of the second half is going to determine a lot of kind of what goes down. But we'll have to kind of wait and see how some of this continues. But of course, thank you for dropping by. I guess it's good timing as well, because I do have some spotted cow here. So if anybody is still sticking around, we got some spotted cow to enjoy. And of course, very appreciated. I imagine we're up to a whole ton of likes now. Sadly, because how I have OBS set up, I can't exactly tell as of this moment. But we'll keep an eye on it. You'll also see a post-game report from me from this game as well. You'll see that video pop up a little bit later, so definitely keep an eye on your feed. We're up to over 60 likes right now. Holy shit! Thank you all, especially if you are still sticking around. Again, always appreciated to have a raid come through. But yeah, again, still I think probably about 5 minutes or so before we get back underway here with the second half. Oh, I forgot Cowboys Packers tonight. We got a Lions fan checking in. Hope you are doing well. I imagine I can tell which team you're rooting for based on the division rivalry there. But, going to be keeping an eye on that. Oh, there's the bot. Hold on. We mod our own stuff. Big on bot. But yeah, again, continuing to enjoy some stuff. And, of course, best of luck to your Lions on the remainder of their season. Good beer. We're taking a look. They do have a halftime performance here, so I imagine there is still a little bit of time left to go before we kick off the second half. I know that I am a little bit behind, so that's just something to keep in mind there. Again, that's just due to the nature of how I am able to watch this game. No, it is not piracy, but I'm lucky enough to have this broadcast, and that's why I am going to be streaming this week. But again, going to be just keep an eye on some stuff. And, again, hoping for as clean of a second half as we saw in the first. Going to have to ultimately wait and see. One sec. Hold on. I do need to go say hi to Adam real quick. There we go. Hold on. As I need to step away from chat briefly here. So second half about to come up, and sorry, I was late to the raid. Hey, it's always whenever you can stop by, it's always very much appreciated. Kind of do it for the love of, just kind of enjoying it here and there. And so, just picking up where we can. And again, anytime you can drop by, you can drop a like, drop a subscription. It would be very, very much appreciated. Try and do streams at least every Monday and do every Steelers game I can. So that's something that might interest you. Definitely would appreciate you sticking around. And outside of that, we'll see kind of how the rest of this game goes. I think it's been pretty solid for the Steelers so far. And of course, if you are coming from Tom's channel, definitely be sure to give him a whole bunch of love back. I'm lucky enough to not only be a member of his, but I'm also lucky enough to be a mod on the Discord side of things. So if that is something that you have available that you'd be interested in joining in, definitely be sure to do that. Would love to see you. Would love to interact with you and maybe talk a little bit of crap on the back end. But again, always appreciate you sliding in here, saying hello, and yeah, again, always appreciated. And always great to get a little bit of an ego bump when my analytics jump up. That's always good too. But is kind of the point behind Grossi doing a whole bunch of these raids. But again, it's just always appreciated. So always looking forward to it. And the thing is, now it sounds self-indulged, but now I have to go back in Grossi's stream and see if there was actually an interaction here. Because this time I actually got to time it up. Where I know the first time I got raided by Tom, I switched screens so I didn't have the chat overlay up at the moment, and so I just completely missed it until it was basically almost done. I had to get pinged in Discord hey, you're being raided, notice us. Where somebody recognized, oh hey, we're raiding Vacant. So definitely made sure to stop by. say hello. I'm actually going to take an opportunity real quick just to reset my broadcast before we head into the second half. Again, always appreciate some subscriptions here and there. We'll go ahead and stop casting and then just kind of recast up. We are not quite back underway as of this moment, so still some time before getting back rolling. And again, hopefully you're enjoying what is your morning so far. And of course, still, probably about, how long have we been live for? About 1 minute and 45 minutes on the dot now. So still lots of time left to go. It looks like we are just about to kick off the second half, so just about to get underway. So again, got a nice little kind of game flow from Progressive. Also getting some really nice shots of the Irish countryside. Definitely want to head out there at one point. I know I'm definitely heading there for when the Wisconsin Badgers take on the Pitt Panthers in 2027. So that'll be a fun game to go to. Also, I enjoy me some Guinness, so that'll definitely be a point of that trip as well, is to, get a whole bunch of stuff there. But, I feel like this is very much more of a game that we'd expected for the Steelers. And the thing is, I think this is one of all that, I think on paper, this is probably the toughest opposition that we've faced this season. I think that the defense has been a lot better. Again, there's still definitely been moments we're definitely still giving up a bunch of yards. I think Justin Jefferson having over 100 yards is kind of indicative of that. The kick, though, is away, and it will be fielded up at the 5 to the 10, the 15, working up the far side, 20, 25, 30, going to shed a tackler, and eventually going to be wrapped up and taken down at the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. And so that's where this Vikings offense will take back over. So Carson Wentz apparently got poked in the eye. So Vikings also down to their backup center. So the Vikings O-line, especially on that right side, very beat up, they're reporting, basically. I think the center, the right guard, and the right tackle all beaten up. Going to try to be a run up the middle. He's going to fall forward and pick up about 3 is Jordan Mason. A couple of Steelers in there on the tackle. Keanu Benton, TJ Watt, and I believe Jalen Ramsey. What gained? Sorry? What do you mean what gained? One, I know Nocturne, you missed. Tom swung by, so I got rated, and this time I caught it, which was nice. Second down and 7, though. So now working from their 35. Wentz takes snap, 4-man rush for the Steelers. Quick screen out to the left, and that's a great work there. What happened to the center? So he was dealing with a concussion last week, from the sound of things. Again, didn't quite catch the whole story just since I was trying to kind of report on that. But yeah, the center was dealing with a concussion, so right now they're on their backup. Peyton Wilson, though, very nice tackle for loss. That's going to knock the Vikings all the way back to their own 31. That's going to make it 3rd down and 11 now. 13:48, 13:47, 13:46 left to go here in the third quarter. Steelers showing pressure at the line. Question is, will they bring it? They will. They'll bring 6. They'll bring 5. They'll drop out. Wentz running around, but he's going to go down. Derek Harmon and Nick Herbig Benton in there as well as Herbig on the sack. There is a flag thrown from behind the play. And it's going to be holding on the defense. So the Steelers defense holds, forces a very nice 3-and-out to open up the second half. And so the Steelers will be getting the ball back. I believe it will be Herbig on a nice little stunt there to the inside. So kind of fake to the outside. You had Queen still going around the outside. You had Benton giving pressure up the middle. So I believe it'll be about half a sack. It'll be a combined sack for Keanu Benton and Nick Herbig, the Steelers' defensive tackle and inside linebacker respectively. That'll push the Vikings back to a 4th and 19. And that will bring out the punting unit. Snap is back and the punt is away rather cleanly. So it's going to be fielded at the Calvin Austin up at the 30. He's going to run backwards back to the 25. And so not the greatest decision there. Would have gone better just going down. It's going to be a loss of 5. And so the Steelers will take it back over at their own 25-yard line when we come back. And I forgot to change the quarter break. So we are now in the third quarter. Thankfully, that one actually worked with me. But once again, going to commercial break. But again, good work there from the Steelers. Defense, of course, flying into that football. Good work from Peyton Wilson. Good, and again, Nick Herbig is an edge. I called him an inside linebacker. I don't know why that just kind of occurred to me that happened. But, again, keeping eyes on some stuff there, and we'll see what continues on. But again, at commercial here in Dublin, just about 13 minutes left to go here in the third quarter, so still a lot of time to play. Steelers about to take over from their own 25. Beer. All right. Well, luckily I got a trash can over to my right, so I'm going to just step away real quick. We're responsible for our trash away. And we still got one more for. I'm not gonna play Renegade because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But I might. I'm not gonna try and punish you with Irish acapella Renegade. But I have half a mind to. I'm not gonna attempt it though because this is going up on the internet and it's gonna be in existence forever. So we'll see what happens there. That's not a good accent. But again, we're gonna go with it anyways, and yeah, we'll see what continues to happen. But once again, in commercial break after a quick 3 and out by the Minnesota Vikings. Ugh. And again, gonna see what continues. Coming out of the break though, they did a Steelers pop-up pro shop, which is pretty cool, out in Dublin. Of course, plenty of Steelers fans there. Or I don't know. That might as well have also not been. That's Irish Steelers hoodie is actually really cool. But a ton of people in Steelers, in not only Steelers gear, but Penguins gear. There's a guy with a Pirates phone case that was on the broadcast earlier. So Steelers always travel well, and I imagine there was a good chunk of Yinzers that made the trip out for this first Dublin game. With 13:09 left to go, again, Steelers taking over from their own 25. Kenneth Gainwell in the game as the single back. Rogers going to go under center. Going to be a toss to Gainwell running to the right. Going to be tackled for about a 1-yard loss here. They were going to spot him actually at the 26. So now they'll be knocked back to the 25. They'll make it second down and 11 on the Steelers' first play from scrimmage. So still a lot of changes left to go. Of course, definitely don't want to see a running play go for negatives on first down here. Defense has played pretty solidly. Again, it's kept Minnesota out of the end zone. Offense has had some explosiveness, but again, that run game, the lack of the run game has been a bit of a concern. Rodgers, handoff up the middle. Gainwell this time going to find a little bit of a hole up over the 30. Going to get all the way up to the 32 before he's taken down. So that'll be a nice pickup of 7 yards there on second down. That'll bring it to a third and much more manageable 4 yards. Clock again, going to continue to roll. 12:09, 12:08, 12:07 left to go in the third quarter. Of course, there's still another 15-minute stanza after this point. But again, 3rd and 4, Steelers doing their best to play complementary football here. Again, first down here would be good to help that. Rodgers in the gun, running back lined up to his right. Darnell Washington going to be brought in motion, tighter the formation. Vikings, I believe, showing zone at the snap. Rodgers takes the snap, 4-man rush. Rodgers looking to his right, complete. Kenneth Gainwell, he's not going to pick up the first down. He's only going to pick up about 1 yard there. So Vikings get a nice stop. And that's going to make it 4th down and it's going to make it 4th down and 3. Apologize. They just updated the graphic. But nice coverage there from Minnesota. Kenneth Gainwell, really the only option as the pocket started to break down. And again, we've got dueling 3 and outs here to open the second half. As we'll now see Corliss Waitman and the Steelers punt unit out. And that punt is away very cleanly. Nice block up front. Going to be fielded at the 20 and tackled immediately. Very nice coverage there. It's Ben Skoranek, who again has been very good. There is a flag thrown. So we'll see what the flag is. I don't think there was not a fair catch signaled. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a block in the back. Again, we'll see what the penalty is. But Ben Skoranek, very nice coverage, even despite the block in the back. And it is a block in the back on Minnesota, so that's going to push them all the way back to their 10-yard line now. So again, good coverage from the Steelers special teams. That's, again, going to flip the field. That's a huge punt now. Because that's, that would have already been a 50-yard punt. That's effectively going to make it about 60 yards. And we're once again going to go to commercial break now. A bunch of commercials to open up the second half, which always isn't great. But again, going to be hanging out. But again, would be good to see the defense step up again. Still looking for the defense to continue to show out. No three and out would be great. I think that you're going to see probably a lot of Justin Jefferson early in this drive. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to hit him on a quick hitch, either lining him up in the slot or on the outside. I was trying to pick up about 6 or 7 yards, as they seem to do pretty consistently. Great jersey, thank you. Of course, Troy definitely, first jersey that I kind of bought with, personally. Of course, love me some Polamalu. I think Polamalu was my favorite player growing up. I think Hines Ward was definitely up there. James Harrison, obviously just being a bit of a shit wrecker, was definitely up there as well. But of course, thank you. Number one reason why I'm a Steelers fan? Hell yeah, man. He's better than Ed Reed, and I will not hear any arguments. In actuality, I think that Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu are both the kind of greatest of their archetype. And I think you can definitely make an argument as to who is the better player. I think if you're looking for more of a prototypical safety, you got to go Reed. Polamalu was still amazing player. So lucky that I got to watch him play for my team growing up, and of course he got to retire as a Steeler, which is always great. And of course, I appreciate the love. For a while there, Minka Fitzpatrick, I thought was a guy that was going to be largely the same. I'm still not really over the fact that we traded him this offseason, just because I loved Minka, even if, he did take a step back last year. I think that was more due to, a change of role for him rather than unnecessary decrease in production. But again, Steelers defenders always great. I do have a TJ Watt jersey as well. Choice speed off the snap to make tackles insane. It was just as much as anticipation as it was his speed, because Troy was a player who would those Dick LeBeau defenses really schemed around Troy's ability to make plays. They let kind of Troy be a roamer, let him do his thing, and the rest the defense was going to set up to really take full advantage of that. Wentz takes a snap, rolling, steps up in the pocket, firing over the head of Jordan Addison. Steelers bringing some pressure, might have gotten a little bit tipped at the line of scrimmage. But looking for a deep out route to Jordan Addison. Minka was great for time being. Past couple seasons, started seeing a regression. I'm okay with the Ramsey trade. Again, I see the kind of idea there. Again, I think that the regression was more down to the fact that, when we saw Minka producing a bit more, Hayward also got a bit of a hand to Wentz's arm on that last throw. Led to that pass being a little bit wobbly and made it be harder for Jordan Addison to come down with it. So good pressure from Cam Hayward. It's going to be second down and 10. Again, Vikings working from their own 10-yard line. Wentz takes a snap. Going to be an inside give to Jordan Mason. He's going to find a little bit of a crease. Only going to pick... Actually, no, he's going to fall forward. Good second effort. So he's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards there. Just kind of somehow working through a bit of a sea of bodies. And so again, you're going to make it a third and much more manageable. I think they'll probably mark it as 3 or 4 here. But yeah, I think, the decline in Minka's numbers was down more to, at least in my opinion, due to him switching from a bit more of that roamer, a bit more of a hybrid safety to a bit more of a coverage specialist. But again, we'll just have to see how that continues through this year. 3rd and 3, though. Wentz in the gun. 3 wide receivers to the far side. That is to Wentz's left. Running back lined up to Wentz's right. A little bit of motion on the far side. Takes a snap. 4-man rush for the Steelers. Wentz looking left. Fires. It's going to be complete. That's to Adam Thielen. And that'll be enough for a first down. A little 5-yard completion there on the slant to the longtime Viking, who became a Panther and then was traded back this offseason. Again, just a really nice slant, good little stat concept. Darius Slay unable to get out of the way quite in time, and a good find from Wentz to pick up that first down. So fresh set of downs for the Vikings. Wentz once again working in shotgun. Receiver coming in motion to the near side. Wentz takes snap, hands it off to Mason. Up over the middle, going to get up to about the 30-yard line. So going to be a pickup of about 9 yards there. Again, good vision there from Jordan Mason. And that should make it second down and 1 here as we crouch under 9 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. And again, T.J. Watt having to be, at least a little bit knowledgeable of Wentz on a potential keeper, on any potential RPO looks, just not able to quite crash down on Jordan Mason. And he's able to pick up 9. 12th carry of the game for Mason. He's up to 47 yards. Second and 1. It's going to be a big handoff. Wentz rolling out. It's going to be dumping it off to Jordan Mason. He's up over the 35 to the 40. Going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. So again, another nice little chunk play there for the Vikings. Chuck Clark in there to force the Vikings running back out of bounds. But yeah, just a little bit of play action halfback flat. You had Patrick Queen kind of bearing down on Wentz, but nobody accounting for the running back, and he's able to sprint forward. So again, fresh set of downs for the Vikings. They're starting to drive here in the third quarter after dueling 3 and outs on their first drives from the Vikings and the Steelers. Of course, this drive started at the 10, so they've already gone 33 yards. Wentz under center. Again, first down and 10. It's going to be a handoff to the left this time. And this one's going to go for, actually, again, it's a good job. This time, I believe that is Smith, the backup Steelers running back, or the backup Vikings running back, apologies. Again, let me check his name. His name is Xavier Scott, apologies, is the RB2 for the Vikings today. Again, doing a nice job, falling forward, able to pick up, turn what really could have been no gain into about 2.5 yards. They're going to call it second down and 8 on the broadcast. 7:46, 7:45, 7:44 left to go here in the third. Wentz takes a snap, looking for man rush for the Steelers, fires to his left, off the hands of, who was that dropped it? That's Jordan Addison with a drop, as really hit him right in the hands and just fell away. So really uncharacteristic there. I believe it was Peyton Wilson, at least putting the pressure on the Vikings wide receiver and the one-time University of Pittsburgh wide receiver before he transferred to USC. So 3rd and 8 here. They're once again waving the towels in Dublin. So 3rd down and 8, Vikings, starting to threaten a little bit with a very comfortable drive. They're working from their own 45. Wentz empty set. Play clock winding down. Takes a snap. Big rush for the Steelers. Wentz looking, escaping to his left. He's going to take off running, trying to get to the first down, and he just about will. Stays in bounds, and is going to pick up 10 to 15 yards. So into Pittsburgh territory go the Minnesota Vikings. Just not enough pressure. Wentz able to find that little seam to that left-hand side and just takes off running. But yeah, just a bit of a man blitz. And yeah, just not quite enough. Wentz able to get well down the field. Yeah, it's going to be about a pickup of 15 yards there and another Vikings first down. Juan Thornhill ended up being the guy who eventually forced him out of bounds. So again, going to be down all the way to, I think, about the 40 now. It's going to be down to the Steelers 44, 1st and 10. Snap timed up very nicely. Pressure. And Carson Wentz somehow evades the sack. There's a ball out. The ball's out. Okay, so there was about a 3 rushers through who timed the snap up perfectly. Carson Wentz had massive pressure. The ball gets punched loose and ends up going back to the line of scrimmage. We're going to see a replay here because I'm not sure exactly what happened. The camera operator didn't track it great, but Deshaun Elliott times that snap up beautifully, gets blocked. You got Peyton Wilson coming through. Deshaun Elliott eventually gets in there, and the ball just eventually falls away somewhere. So Deshaun Elliott forces a fumble. It will still go down as a sack, but it's only going to be a loss of 1 as the Vikings do recover. It's the tight end on the recovery. Wentz takes the snap, fakes the toss. Watt giving pressure, and it's going to go down as a sack. T.J. Watt getting the pressure. I think it'll be Keanu Benton who will officially get credited with a sack. So it's back-to-back sacks for this Steelers defense as Watt and Benton combine there. And it's going to bring it now to 3rd and 16 after the loss of 5 on that little play-action toss. And yeah, T.J. Watt just coming basically completely unblocked. Seemed to be a bit more big in the toss, going to the screen to Hawkinson. Watt all over Carson Wentz immediately. And then Ben doing a nice job cleaning it up. And that'll make it 3rd down and 16. Vikings push back to midfield. Empty set for Wentz. 4-man rush for the Steelers. Wentz surveying the field. Looking, firing over the middle. Intercepted! T.J. Watt! T.J. Watt knocks it down. Intercepted. And the Steelers star edge rusher with an amazing play. And the Steelers will take back over from the Vikings 35 as a play that we've seen so many times for T.J. Watt, timing it perfectly, jumping it up, knocking the pass down, coming away with it. I believe it was Cam Hayward there as well, so I think either of them might have come away with that. But T.J. Watt intercepted, and with 5:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter, it's the 2nd Carson Wentz interception of the day, and the Steelers about to take back over from the Minnesota 35 after the T.J. Watt return. And if that's another reason to open up the second beer, I don't know what is. It's always great to see T.J. Watt get involved in the game. And what a play from the Steelers edge rusher. That was a different, again, something that, that was something that we've seen that's, continued to be a little bit different for T.J. Watt compared to past years. In past years, we've really only seen T.J. Watt coming off the left edge. In that play there, he was actually, he was not only on the right side of the offensive line, but he was inside of Cam Hayward, who was normally our defensive tackle in those scenarios. So again, great to see. I'm not sure who is officially going to get credited with the knockdown pass. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. T.J. Watt has the football, and importantly, doing a good job keeping the Minnesota Vikings off the scoreboard and giving ourselves a really good opportunity at putting up a couple of more points, extending this back to a 2-possession lead. And then again, I think, the Steelers defense has a ton of momentum right now. And of course, that is a huge, huge play in this game. And, again, still a lot of game left to play, still about 20 minutes of football remaining. But again, almost had a turnover there with the fumble on 1st down. Had a sack on 2nd. That's about as perfect 3-play sequence as you can have. We got a sack with a fumble that sadly does get recovered by the offense, but still a sack. You got a sack on 2nd down, and then you got an interception on 3rd down. That's about exactly what you could ask for. And now I have to let my heart rate come down a little bit while we're in commercial breaks, so that way I'm still good for the rest of the game. But, at commercial break here, just under 6 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And, of course, still got the 4th afterwards. Woo! It's good to see the defense actually start to wake up a little bit, though. Especially considering the offense hasn't necessarily been clicking on all cylinders. Obviously they're not 100% healthy either. But, again, starting to see T.J. Watt become more and more of a factor is always great. Stop buffering, Fubo. Thank you. But yeah, Steelers now taking over from the 35 of the Minnesota Vikings. Running back is lined up to Rodgers' right. Freiermuth coming in motion now to the near side. So he'll now set up to Rodgers' left. Rodgers takes a snap. Low snap. Rodgers over the middle. Complete. Darnell Washington down to the 30. Going to carry a couple of defenders with him. He's going to get all the way down to the Minnesota 26. So good work there from Rodgers, managing to field that low snap. So again, we're taking a look at the replay. As T.J. Watt just doing a nice job. It was both T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward getting up to bat that pass down. And it's just kind of great plays there from the Steelers pass rushers. So 2nd down and 1 now after the 9-yard reception by Darnell Washington. Rodgers once again in the gun. Skowronek coming in motion. Going to be handoff to Gainwell. Going to pick up a 1st down and more. Gainwell going to continue to rumble. Nice little blocking from Ben Skowronek there to open up a gap. And that's going to get the Steelers all the way down to the 20-yard line. So, continue to see some nice running. Ben Skowronek is a guy who I'm going to have to continue to keep an eye on as this season continues. Not necessarily going to see him quite as much in the passing game as much. Not going to see him, have a bunch of big passes. But in terms of that run blocking game especially, he's been very solid. Of course, he did have that nice touchdown against the New York Jets, which was Aaron Rodgers' first in a Steelers uniform. Steelers getting lined up here. Some approach under 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. First down and 10. Play clock is winding down, so they got to get the snap off fairly quickly. Takes snap, toss to the right to Gainwell. Is going to find the edge up over the 20, going to get down to the 15. Going to get knocked out of the bounds down at the 13-yard line. Hargrave in the area, but again, starting to see that Steelers rushing attack start to be that little bit more. 44 on the Vikings is who they are highlighting with the stop there. That is Joshua Metellus, the nickelback, in there on the force out of bounds. But the Steelers are going to be credited with a first down here. It's going to be first down and 10. Now working from, it's going to be second down and 4. They just updated it. From inside the 15, just inside the 14-yard line, actually. Rodgers under center. Gainwell remains in the game as the single back. Going to be a give up the middle to Gainwell. A little bit of hesitation up the middle. 10, 5, tackle all the way down to the 3 before he's taken down. Byron Murphy in there on the tackle. And so Steelers, again, continue to find a bit of momentum. Of course, short field scenario. But again, you're starting to see some of that run game start to go to work. And I think, you're starting to see what some of that kind of quick passing game in the early stages might have been able to open up. Started to, give opportunities. You got, of course, Darnell Washington in there as a great big man blocker, effectively an extra offensive lineman on a lot of these running plays. And that's going to open up the hole for Gainwell to pick up those chunk plays. First and goal now from inside the 5. Rodgers takes a snap. Gainwell up the middle. Down inside the 5. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Kenneth Gainwell picks up his second score of the day. And the Steelers go up to a 20-6 lead. Of course, PAT pending from Chris Boswell. But Kenneth Gainwell having a very nice day as the Steelers continuing to rumble here. And up to a 14-point lead. We'll see if they can extend that here up to 15 with the PAT. Again, some nice blocking from McCormick. Nice blocking from Metcalf to open it up. I believe you had Darnell Washington still in the game there, doing a nice job to open up. But PAT coming from Boswell. Kick is up. And the kick is good. And so that'll make the score 21-6. Pittsburgh now with a 15-point edge with 2:23 left to go in the third quarter. As the Steelers doing a nice job. Looking at that replay, it was TJ Watt with who would have broken up that pass anyways. And he still picks up that interception. Kenneth Gainwell punches it in 21-6. And we will go to another commercial break. And now I can actually drink some of that beer. Whew. All right. I think it's sláinte. I think it's sláinte is the Irish toast, which again feels appropriate. So we'll keep it going, and of course, still plenty of time left to go in this one. Of course, if you are just swinging by, definitely would appreciate a like and a subscribe if you haven't done so already. You should see generally about a stream a week. I know next week I will be taking a bye week, not only because the Steelers have a bye week, but also because I'll be traveling. So you might see a Steelers bye week, kind of summary and reaction video on that front. But otherwise, you might not. In terms of what to expect me a little bit more closely, though, I'll of course have a Steelers fan reaction to this game shortly after this game ends. So definitely be sure to keep an eye out for that. And kind of outside of that, I will be streaming. I believe it's Broncos-Bengals tomorrow night. When the choice is between Dolphins-Jets and Broncos-Bengals, it's not exactly a good one. I might honestly flip a coin tomorrow and may end up doing Jets-Dolphins just to do the game that might be a little bit more chaotic or ugly. But yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for a stream tomorrow night. Maybe one tonight as well. I might end up doing Sunday Night Football. Kind of depends on how the day pans out, but I wouldn't bet on that one. But yeah, today Steelers reaction video, Monday Night Football tomorrow, and then it'll be about a week break before the next thing, unless there's something else. And then I might put out a quick little short or short video reacting to it. Again, we'll just have to see how it continues. But coming out of a commercial break here, and so still lots to go. And again, plenty of Steelers fans. There's a lot of Steelers fans in attendance. But seeing a good mix of jerseys. Saw a Broncos fan in there. Kick fielded at the 10 at the near side, 15, 20, cuts to the far side, 25, 30, finds a hole, 35, 40, 45, 50. Boswell to beat up into the 40, 35. And it's Boswell who knocks him out at 35. There is a flag thrown. Great return from Price. Are they going to pull it back, though? And we got a holding on the Vikings, so that big return is going to take the Vikings all the way back. So Vikings about to get set up with a short field. That gets wiped away. And so Vikings now going to have to work from deep. Taking a look at the holding. Yeah, just 37 there. Holding is on number 37 of Minnesota there, just off the edge. Just setting up 37 is Tavier Thomas getting flagged for the holding. That'll wipe out that big return. That's going to push the Vikings from, all the way back to their own 18-yard line. So that's a huge, huge penalty. 2:14 left to go in the third. Steelers showing pressure at the line. Wentz takes a snap. 5-man rush to the Steelers. Wentz looking deep down the right-hand side, airing it out, looking for Jefferson. Going to be a little bit overthrown. And so going to be incomplete. Darius Slay in there on coverage. Very tight as well. But again, going to fall incomplete. And Darius Slay, again, just doing a nice job getting the coverage together. And yeah, just the ball a little bit over the head of Jefferson and going to fall incomplete. So that's going to make it second down and 10. Jalen Ramsey limping off the field. So that's certainly not something you want to see with an already injured Steelers secondary. So James Pierre going to check into the game. Carson Wentz under center. Going to be a handoff to Jordan Mason going up the middle. Going to go nowhere. Patrick Queen first on the scene. Going to hold that to only a gain of 1 on forward progress. But going to keep it to a 3rd down and 9. So taking a look at Jalen Ramsey here. Yeah, as actually, Jordan Addison was comfortably open, and that's a bit of a hamstring look from Jalen Ramsey. So that's not good. But yeah, Jalen Ramsey almost immediately pulling up with that injury. 134 and counting. Jordan Mason, only 13 carries for 47 yards so far this game. Steelers have done a nice job at being able to shut him down. Wentz takes snap out of the gun. Steelers bringing pressure. Wentz looking. Goes down inside the 10. It's Keanu Benton. And the Steelers defense has started to wake up finally. As again, against a Vikings O-line that has suffered some attrition in this one. Steelers bring 6 and they do bring 6. It's Benton first on the scene. Watt also there, probably going to come away with half a sack. But the Steelers getting home, taking advantage of the situation, taking advantage of the Vikings suffering a couple of injuries on the O-line. It's going to be 4th and 18, pushing the Vikings all the way back to their 9. The punt is almost blocked, but is away. Going to be fielded at the 43. Calvin Austin going to cut it back to the near side. Up with the 40, trying to find an edge. 45, 50, into Vikings territory. Going to be knocked down at the 46. So a nice return there from Calvin Austin. As now the Steelers special teams having a nice little play. And with 35 seconds left in the third quarter, it looks like we're going to head to another commercial break. And we will. I feel like I'm an auctioneer right now. I feel like I'm having to talk so fast. Oh. But yeah, still very enjoyable right now. And again, once again, at commercial break. 35 seconds left in the fourth quarter before we head in. Steelers, it's another opportunity to put some points on the board. Trying to really try and make that gap for the Vikings insurmountable. But good to see. Even still with a Steelers defense that's not necessarily at full strength. Alex Highsmith is out. I believe Joey Porter Jr. Is still out. I haven't seen him at all today. Obviously now with Jalen Ramsey out, that's I think another concern. But I think the Steelers defense has still played very, very well. And again, I think you need to have a bit of a caveat that again the Vikings O-line, specifically that right side, where you're going to be diverting your resources to deal with T.J. Watt as death to the bots. Screw the clanker. There we go. Clanker is gone. I think there's definitely something to be mentioned for dealing with that, especially if you have less experienced O-linemen dealing with a T.J. Watt with a Cam Hayward. They're going to divert more and more resources to that side of the field, and that's going to open up opportunities for your Keanu Bentons, for your Peyton Wilsons, for your Nick Herbigs, to have these opportunities coming off the edge, and that's what we've really seen, especially start to happen in this second half as some of that attrition has started to become more and more of a factor. But again, at commercial break here, I'm going to drink a beer and shut up so you don't have to listen to my voice, because some of you have been doing that for about 2 hours and 20 minutes now, which of course I appreciate. But I want to give you a little bit of time to rest your ears. Or not, because we're coming out of commercial. All right, so I'll put my beer back down. If you don't mean to drink beers, NFL, just tell me. Of course, Crooke Park opened since 1884. Today's attendance, 74,512. So really good showing out in Dublin today. So not quite a full attendance game, but still, I think very respectable showing. Again, 35 seconds left to go in the half. Steelers 1st and 10 from inside Vikings territory. Steelers looking to improve to 3-1. Vikings, of course, would fall to 2-2 should this result hold. But again, still lots of football left to play. Rodgers takes snap, toss to Caleb Johnson, running to the right, going to cut up to the inside. First, really solid carry for Kenneth Gainwell. He's going to get up over the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. It's a pickup of 9, longest run on the season for the Steelers rookie running back. And that'll make it 2nd down and 1. And I assume will take us into the 4th quarter, as I assume that should be the last play. I think Spencer Anderson doing a nice job as Steelers going O-lineman eligible there. So Anderson and Fatana doing a nice job. Roman Wilson throwing a nice block. First time I've been able to mention his name, but definitely good to see the second-year wide receiver on the field. But that will take us into the 4th quarter with your score: Pittsburgh 21, Minnesota. Nope, that is the wrong button. Steelers 21, Minnesota 6. But again, heading into the 4th quarter now. And so still plenty of time left to go. Steelers starting to threaten a little bit. And so we'll see what happens as we continue on with this 4th quarter. Again, I think definitely got to... I think even 3 points here makes the game look pretty different, because, of course, that opens the gap to 18. That opens it up to a full-on 3-score game. Because as of right now, it is still a 2-possession game, at least theoretically. 2 touchdowns, one of those coming with a 2-point conversion does tie the game. But we'll have to see. But, again, infomercial here. But, I guess take a look quickly at some of the stats in this one as we do head into the 4th quarter. While I do have the opportunity, I'll focus on the Steelers in this one, just because, again, that's who I'm particularly rooting for. Steelers, Rodgers, 14 of 16 for 174 and a touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell, 11 carries, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. Metcalf, 4 receptions for 122 yards and a touchdown are your leaders on the Steelers side. Carson Wentz, 19 of 27 for 168, 2 interceptions. Jordan Mason, only 13 carries for only 47 yards. Justin Jefferson has had a nice day, 8 catches for 97 yards. But again, hasn't had a touchdown to go with that. Steelers have done a very nice job on that front. Taking a look at some of the box score for some of the rest of the Steelers. Caleb Johnson up to 3 carries for 12 yards. Now Steelers averaging about 5 yards a carry in this game. Kenneth Gainwell also 4 guys for 21 yards. Darnell Washington 3 guys for 20. So that's certainly good to see. Peyton Wilson leads the team in tackles with 8. 2 for loss leads the team with Patrick Queen, Keanu Benton, and Nick Herbig, both with a sack and a half each. Also lead the team in those categories. Take a look at the Vikings again as we move into this final stand of play here. Carson Wentz, 2 carries for 12 yards. Xavier Scott, only 2 carries for a yard. In terms of other receivers, not really done much for the Vikings. Jordan Addison, 2 catches for 27 yards. Xavier Scott, 4 for 18. Jordan Mason, 3 catches for 25. And otherwise, haven't seen too much. TJ Hawkinson, only 1 target. Of course, those 2 turnovers from Carson Wentz were a big factor. Joshua Metellus, meanwhile, leads Minnesota with tackles, also with 8. And I believe 2 sacks from Minnesota is also their leader. 2nd down and 1. Caleb Johnson remains in the game as the single back. Going to be a quick screen out to DK Metcalf. He's going to pick up the first down and more. He's going to get down just shy of the 30-yard line, down to the Minnesota 31. And he's going to do a nice job on the first play of the 4th quarter to pick up a first down, keep the chains moving. It's going to be Metellus on coverage, eventually forcing DK Metcalf out of bounds, which is the 5th catch of the game for DK. Again, just getting that one-on-one coverage, getting those kind of mismatches, allowing DK to make plays has been a big focus. Caleb Johnson remains in the game as a single back. He's lined up to Rodgers' right. Darnell Washington going to be brought in motion closer to the formation. Vikings going to be dropping into zone more than likely here. 1st and 10, working from the 33. Rodgers takes a snap a bit low again. Rodgers looking to his left, fires complete. Going to be complete to Roman Wilson. Or sorry, that's Calvin Austin there, who's a little bit slow to get up. I think he's going to pick up about 7 yards there, but he's down on 1 knee. Actually, they're going to give him 8. They're going to call it 2nd down and 2. But Calvin Austin did get hit pretty hard there. Not sure if he got the wind knocked out of him, but it looks like we are going to go to a break here. Hopefully Calvin Austin is okay. But just like a quick little out route to the Steelers receiver, who I believe that's his first reception on the day. Again, haven't cut to commercial yet. A little bit of John going on as well. You can see DK Metcalf on the broadcast having some words with Jonathan Allen. So we'll see exactly what happens here. Yeah, they got their eyes right on DK Metcalf. John giving the L to Jonathan Allen. And they're continuing to jaw away. So again, still not cutting to commercial. We're just, okay, now we're cutting to commercial. Thank you, NFL, for getting us no commentary and then eventually cutting to commercial. That was a bit of an odd sequence, but again, still hanging out here. And yeah, we'll see, good chunk of people in chat as well. So of course, thank you for swinging by. Still early in the 4th quarter here. Steelers have played a very solid game. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you haven't done so already, I definitely showed myself out a lot more in this game than normal. But again, we're going to do it. We're trying to, hopefully grow a bit of a community here. Largely just football for the time being, but might branch out into a couple of other sports depending on how some of this continues to evolve. You'll see me doing more Steelers games than any other, but Monday night, definitely be sure to tune in if your team is playing. I'll be doing some commentary every week I can for those guys as well. And end of the day, we'll just see what happens, and we'll enjoy some football together. Hopefully, become another form of commentary for you guys. And again, always appreciate, even if you don't not in the mood to like and subscribe, the views always appreciate it. Helps push me in that algorithm a little bit more. Helps grow the channel a little bit, even from, I think we're only at, let's see, how many subs are we at? I'm only showing as 66. We're up to, we're up to 64 likes here. Up to 80 subs. Hell yeah. I think it's like 14 in this stream alone, which is always great to see. But yeah, I mean, hey, we'll push for 100 subs, and from there we'll push to 200, and then 400. And again, we'll see how far this goes. But yeah, again, just in here, enjoy some sports now and again, and yeah, glad anytime you can join. Spotted cow. Looks like we are just about to come out of commercial, though. Again, Steelers continuing to threaten here. It's going to be 2nd down and 2 from pretty deep in Minnesota territory. Taking a look at, got a cheesehead out there in the stands. We got a whole bunch of towels waving. Again, going to be second down and 2 after Calvin Austin got banged up. We're seeing Scotty Miller, I think, check in as his replacement. You'd kind of rather see Roman Wilson if you're a Steelers fan. But, I suppose if it makes the team a bit better. But 78 rushing yards today, so above average. We've only really averaged 63 as a team so far this season. And, the defensive takeaways have been the big thing. Calvin Austin does seem to be headed to the locker room here. Rogers is going to go out of the gun. Caleb Johnson remains in the game as a single back, working from the Minnesota 25. Again, second down and 2, Vikings showing blitz. They're going to bring it. Going to be handoff to Caleb Johnson going up the middle. He's going to pick up a first down up over the 20. He's going to rumble down to about the 18-yard line. Really nice job from the Steelers O-line getting a nice little push. And again, there's some jawing after the fact. Zach Frazier and Roger Jones involved with a Minnesota defender who I couldn't quite see the name of. But again, first down and 10. And good to see Caleb Johnson start to get more and more of an impact on this game as it is carried on. We started to see him get more and more carries. I think we started to see him go north and south, which is what we were really hoping to see. It's his 4th carry of the game. He's up to 18 yards now in this one. But definitely good to see the third-year man, especially after that special teams gap 2 weeks ago, start to maybe find a little bit of a rhythm. Rogers, handoff to Johnson up the middle. Going to evade a tackler, but only going to pick up about a yard on forward progress as he, didn't really have much of a hole there. It's going to make it second down, and we'll still call it 10. It's going to be second down and 9.5, so we'll definitely call it 10. Jonathan Allen seems to be the guy they're crediting with making the initial stop there. But clock going to continue to roll under 12 minutes and 30 seconds now. Left to go in the game. So again, second and 9. Rogers going to be going out of the gun here. Again, clock continuing to roll. Caleb Johnson lined up to his left. Clock winding down. Rogers takes a snap. Going to be a handoff to Caleb Johnson. This time running right. Going to try to bounce to the outside. Up over the 15. Tries to run over a guy. But again, only gets down to about the 15. It's going to be a pickup of 3 or 4 yards there. So we'll call it third down and 6 now. So again, solid pickup there. Trying to keep that momentum rolling. As again, definitely enjoy seeing Caleb Johnson get more and more involved in this Steelers offense, especially since we spent our second pick in the draft on him, despite him being a third rounder. But it is going to be third down and 6 here. Aaron Rodgers has been very efficient on quick passes. I imagine they're going to be looking to try and set one up here. Of course, going to be a shorter field scenario. Trips bunch to the far side. Third down and 6. Kenneth Gainwell line up in the game. He's going to come in motion to the near side. And Steelers going to call timeout here as play clock was winding down. 11:25 left. Aaron Rodgers will signal timeout. And so with 11:25 and 3rd and 6 from inside the Minnesota red zone, Steelers go down to 2 timeouts here. As just not quite enough good enough communication there. So we'll have a brief break because we got a little bit of color. We got a little bit of blood on a Steelers player. Zach Frazier getting a little bit of blood wiped off an eyebrow. But again, definitely another big moment here for the Steelers. I think if you're Arthur Smith, if you're trying to scheme up play for third down, you might take a shot at the end zone. You're in a good position where, maybe you just kind of take a shot towards the back of the end zone, try and set up a jump ball for Freiermuth, for Washington, for Metcalf. Try and put it in a way where it's either over their head or only the receiver can come down with it. Because you are in a position to kick a field goal, take an official 3-score lead, and that puts you in a very nice position. Kenneth Gainwell will remain in the game. He's lined up to Rogers' left. Rogers in the gun here. Third down and 6, 11:25, working for the Minnesota 15. Johnny Smith comes in motion. We'll go back to the formation. Vikings bringing pressure. Rogers throwing looking for Scotty Miller on a little out route, but it's going to fall incomplete. Rogers having to get that ball away maybe a little bit quicker than he might have liked, but again, going to fall incomplete there. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 6 here. And imagine for the second time today, we'll see the Steelers field goal unit coming out. And so that'll put it back on the Vikings offense to get stuff going. Boswell, 33 yards, right hash, snap, hold, kick. This one is up, and this one is straight through. So the kick from Boswell is good. Steelers now go up by a 18-point advantage. And again, clock continues to roll, but 18 points. Definitely a big deficit to overcome, but still a lot that could happen in the 11 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in this game as we head to a commercial break. Woo! All right, we're continuing to yap, and yeah, we'll see what continues going on here. Actually, I think Arsenal's just about kicked off, so I can check that out real quick. Keeping with some of the European theme, trying to keep an eye on what's going on. Did Trossard just miss? Shit. Damn it. Apparently Trossard just missed. Damn. Alright. Well, 0-0 between Arsenal and Newcastle so far. So we'll see how that game pans out. Of course, I am an Arsenal fan. Soccer has definitely been something that I've looked at maybe trying to stream at some point. So we'll keep an eye on that as it continues. Maybe for a bigger game, like I could do like Champions League or something. Just kind of depending on how schedules pan out. F1's been another thing. Like F1, I feel like is a hard one to kind of do commentary for. Just because I feel like you need the kind of standings on the kind of left-hand side. So I'd definitely be looking to try and figure some of that out. But from there, it would just be kind of a wait and see. And it might be a figure out a manual way to deal with that. But again, we'll see what happens. Not really sure. I'm going to do stuff that I enjoy. And sometimes it'll hit, sometimes it won't. And we'll just enjoy it. We'll have a good time. We'll enjoy largely our weekends and our Monday nights. And yeah, again, just gonna see from there. And again, chill out, have a good time. Always a good one. And again, hopefully you're enjoying your weekend, enjoying your Sunday. And yeah, hope you're doing well. Oh, they got Renegade. Yeah. Of course, with the Steelers being the home team, you get Renegade. And there's a ton of towels around. So definitely great to see. I'll definitely join in. They got Renegade blasting in Crooke Park. And you see a bunch of Steelers fans. Of course, looking for another defensive stop here. And you got Renegade blasting here in Dublin. The kick from Boswell is away. Going to be fielded at the 2, up the near side, 10, 15, coming right to left, 20, 25. Going to be tackled at about the 30-yard line. And so that's where this Vikings offense will be taking back over. But, in terms of, Steelers have, made the, bigger splash plays in this one. Of course, you got the 2 Carson Wentz interceptions. You've seen a whole bunch of pressure getting home on Carson Wentz. Good chunk of sacks as well. You've seen a whole bunch of different players get pressure. 6 sacks, 2 takeaways for this Steelers defense. A bit more of a return to form from what we've seen in the past 2 weeks. But again, job's not done. Still a lot of work left to do. Wentz takes a snap from empty set, looking to his right, fires, complete to Jordan Addison, who's going to pick up about 8 yards before he is shepherded out of bounds. Actually, they'll call a pickup of 6 yards there. It'll be 2nd down and 4 yards left to go. So again, clock continuing to chew under 11 minutes. Wentz going to go under center here. Mason in the game as the single back. Wentz takes the snap. Handoff. Mason going up the middle. Going to find a little bit of a hole. Will pick up enough to get a first down and pick up about 5 yards before he is dragged down by Peyton Wilson. But again, doing a nice job. I think, trying to get that tempo reestablished. I think it's definitely been surprising that Steelers have done a better job at containing the run. Vikings going up tempo though. Wentz out of the gun. 4-man snap for the Steelers. Wentz pumping over the middle. Fires. Complete. First completion of the game to T.J. Hawkinson on only his 2nd target of this game. That's going to be good for another about 6 yards. So it's going to make it 2nd down and 4 here. I think we had a couple of Steelers down. Cam Hayward a little bit slow to get up. Brandon Eccles there as well. I got a couple of Steelers doubled over, as I think we're going to have a brief injury timeout. Justin Jefferson has been surprisingly quiet in the 2nd half. Does not have a catch, which, again, we're probably about to have a caster curse here. But again, it is 2nd down and 4 as T.J. Hawkinson finally gets on the board. Cam Hayward is going to come to the sideline here as we had the brief injury timeout as the Walter Payton Man of the Year a little bit slow to get up. And, of course, they did have to call for that injury timeout. So 10:05 left to go in this football game. Clock now rolls from there. Again, 2nd and 4 after the completion to Hawkinson. So Wentz gonna, I believe, line up under. Wentz gonna line up alone in the gun here. Three wide receivers to the far side, or 3 potential receivers to the far side. Wentz takes the snap, 4-man rush for the Steelers. Wentz looking over the middle, deep, complete. Jordan Addison, there he is. Justin Jefferson, too many J's. But Justin Jefferson finally gets on the board in this second half. That's pretty comfortably into Steelers territory. That's going to be all the way down to the 35-yard line, and it's going to be a fresh set of downs for the Minnesota Vikings on the completion over the middle to the star wideout Wentz. Again, up-tempo here for the Vikings. They got to score fairly quickly here with it now being a 3-possession game. Wentz under center. Mason in the game as the single back. I believe that's a Naylor going in motion to the far side. Fakes the handoff. Wentz looking for the screen. Going to have to spike it into the ground as a bunch of players bearing down on him. Deshaun Elliott in there giving pressure, as was Nick Herbig. And so that pass is going to fall incomplete with 9:08 left to go. And Wentz doubling over a little bit as he got lit up towards the end of that. As about 2 free Steelers just, again, bearing down on him. And so that'll stop the clock with 9:08 left to go. And again, make it 2nd down and 10 as the Vikings continue to go to work. Take a look at J.J. McCarthy, who is on the sidelines injured today. I think definitely an interesting question, whether to turn the reins back over to the Michigan product. Wentz in the gun, takes snap, 4-man rush. Wentz looking, pumps, fires back to his right complete. Once again, it's Hawkinson getting back on the board, who's going to fight forward, do a nice job. He's going to pick up about 12 yards in the first down there before he's eventually dragged down by 3 Steelers. Again, nice job there, fighting through a couple of tackles, just continuing to go to work, continuing to claw away at the Steelers' yardage. Again, I feel like, that's what I definitely expected to see more of Hawkinson deployed in the scenario that we've seen him on this drive. But Vikings continue to roll. Now working from the 23. Wentz in the gun. 4-man rush again for the Steelers. Wentz pumping, firing over the middle. Hawkinson again inside the 20, down to the 18, before he's taken down by a combination of Wilson and Queen. So that'll make it 2nd down and 5 or so. So again, clock continuing to roll. But again, we're starting to see, I think, some of that, what we saw in the game plan. And I think that tempo is starting to, maybe mess with this Steelers defense a little bit. They're going to call it 2nd down and 4 as we approach 8 minutes left to go in the game. Wentz under center, Mason a single back. 2 tight ends and a wide receiver to the near side. Wentz fakes the handoff. Pressure coming. Going to be dumping it off. Going to fall just short of number 84. That's Oliver, who they were looking for in the flat. Again, more pressure on Carson Wentz has been a big part of this game. It's going to make it 3rd down and 4 now. So still very manageable for this Vikings defense. Still a lot of time left to go. 7:56 as the clock stops. Third down and 4 from deep inside Steelers territory. Vikings looking to cut into the 18-point Steeler lead. Got a bunch of fans waving their towels in the background, but working from the Steelers 12, and 3rd and 4 to the 8 for a first down. From the 16 to the 13 for a first down. It's a pretty short 4. Wentz takes snap, looking, firing, tries to escape, steps up, fires towards the end zone. I think that's a touchdown for the Vikings. That is a Vikings touchdown. So Vikings get on the board for 6. First time today. Good work getting a feet down. Again, Wentz managing to extend the play, and it's Xavier Scott finding the end zone. And that'll cut the lead, at least temporarily, to 12 points. Jalen Ramsey getting burned a little bit there. We'll have to take a replay to confirm. And yeah, I think it's a great play by Xavier Scott to get both toes down. Let's see. And I think his heels do just about stay up. Don't get a great angle from that first one, but that very much looks like a touchdown to me. We're getting an angle from behind Scott here. And yeah, that is a touchdown. That is a very nice catch by Xavier Scott to cut into the lead, especially from a running back. Again, Jalen Ramsey getting a bit burned here. Vikings going for 2 here with 7:50 left to go in the game. Of course, we cut the lead to 10, would just mean a touchdown and a field goal. Receiver coming in motion to the near side. Wentz takes snap, looking to his left, pumping, firing over the middle. Touch. Yeah, that's good. So Jalen Naylor gets that 2-point conversion, and that's going to cut the Steeler lead now down to 10 with 7:50 left to go. And so Steelers defense may be showing a little bit of a crack here as the door just slightly opened as we head to another commercial break. And if you'll, oh wait, no, I can't go to the bathroom. I need to hold my urine for the defense. I need to pee for the D. We gotta hold off. No, can't mistime it. I could go for the O, but we're not. But yeah, still a lot of time left to go. For the Steelers defense or for the Steelers offense, now is really that opportunity to try and drive the nail into the coffin. You've been pretty efficient throughout the course of this game. Now it's just a matter of trying to, eventually find your way home in this one, and get that job done. Excuse me for a sec. I do want to take the yeah. I'll thank Tom after the game. We'll figure it out. But again, hopefully you have been enjoying as we head down into the last about 8 minutes or so. Been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes right now. It's definitely been live for quite a while. And definitely, again, been an enjoyable game. I think Steelers have definitely done a nice job to find a bit of an edge, especially with those turnovers. And we'll see at the end of the day what the difference is. Vikings have definitely had plays too. Of course, that blocked field goal early in the game. Managed to, at this point, keep the lead to 10 instead of 13. As Isaiah Rodgers came up with another big play, especially early in the season. Isaiah Rodgers looking like an all-pro player. As 2 defensive touchdowns last week, blocked field goal this week. Definitely going to be an interesting player to watch over the course of the rest of this season, especially as the Vikings head to London next week to take on the Browns. And it'll be next Sunday, and about the same time we started this stream. But coming out of the commercial break now, we are lined up to kick it back away here in Dublin. I feel like I should keep this kind of block to, keep the kind of block in the middle to kind of break up the two teams. Whether I go like black or something, I'm not sure what exactly I'd go with it. But I like this overlay. Generally, there isn't the flag, and it's just the two teams blend together. But it definitely works for this one because of those yellow outlines, especially since they're kind of different colors. The kick will be returned from the 10 up to the 15, 20, 25. Breaks it outside 30, 35 before Kenneth Gainwell is taken down. And so the Steelers offense is going to start to work their way back out on the field, and we'll see what they can do. Yeah. So, good throw by Carson Wentz on that 2-point conversion. Make sure to keep it away from James Pierre. But yeah, that 2-point conversion could be incredibly crucial here. Rodgers under center. Gainwell in the game as the single back. Scotty Miller in motion. Will remain tight to the formation. 7:46 left to go in the game. It's going to be hand off to Gainwell. Going to the middle. Going to cut it to the right. Up over the 40. Up over the 45. First down. Going to get all the way down to midfield. Kenneth Gainwell with a very nice run. And so that's going to be a pickup of about 15 yards there. As Kenneth Gainwell showing some very nice vision. Steelers already getting a fresh set downs as they approach midfield. Good blocking as well by Connor Hayward, being able to open up that gap on the backside. And so Steelers, first down. That's 12th carry of the game for Kenneth Gainwell. Is up to 72 yards, and of course has 2 of the Steelers' 3 touchdowns in this game. DK Metcalf, of course, with that long second one. Steelers working from about their own 49, right at about midfield. Gainwell remains in the game as a single back. Rodgers under center, takes snap, fakes the handoff this time. Rodgers going to be looking for Gainwell, going to be complete, going to find him. Good work from Gainwell, good focus to be able to bring that pass in. It was a little bit behind him as Rodgers was facing the pressure. It's Wilson for Minnesota who is able to make the tackle there, but not before Gainwell picks up 6 yards and make it second down and 4 as the Steelers march into Vikings territory all the way down to the Minnesota 45. It'll be second down and 4 as the clock continues to roll. 6.5 minutes left to play. So again, time continuing to wind down here. And 624, 623, 622, so that you can get a little bit of a time sync. Rogers 17 to 20 for 192 today. Been very efficient so far. Rogers in the gun. Skronik in motion. Going to be handoff to Gainwell up the middle. Finds a nice little hole. Going to get a push. He's going to be close to a first down. And I think he will fall forward and pick it up. So I think it will be a pickup of 4. So good work from the Steelers O-line to keep things rolling. It's going to be close. It's going to depend on where they spot it. So they are going to rule that he's going to be just short here. Skronik, Skronik does a nice job. Skronik has been very good in the run game. Basically, locked up an edge rusher there. So Skronik been very good. 3rd down and 1. They're going to try and push for it. And I think it is a quarterback sneak from Aaron Rodgers that will pick up a first down. Broderick. It's either Broderick Jones or Dallas Turner. There's multiple penalties at the end of this play as people get shoving at each other. We got a hat flying off. We got multiple penalty flags. DK Metcalf is heated. We're trying to figure out exactly what happened here. Grenard and Metcalf, I think, the guilty parties who were involved. Actually, sorry, it was not a quarterback sneak from Rodgers. He's just standing back there, signaling first down. I think it may have been Jonnu Smith getting the sneak for the first down. And Rodgers... And so it's a 15-yard penalty on the defense. So Dallas Turner is the only one who's getting flagged at the end of things there. So Steelers going to get 15 additional yards after the first down. So we're trying to see what exactly happened here. Oh, and DK Metcalf, there's some jawing going on. There were different flags in there, so it may have been there may have been 2 penalties that offset. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. But DK Metcalf, at some point, it did seem to be grabbed Dallas Turner's face mask. But regardless, it is going to be a fresh set of downs here for the Steelers. 6th penalty of the game for Minnesota for a total of 61 yards. Steelers have been very disciplined today. Only two penalties for 20 yards. It's going to be heavy personnel here for the Steelers. Rodgers going to go under center. Kenneth Gainwell remains in this game as the single back. Darnell Washington coming in motion to the near side. Handoff up the middle to Gainwell. He's going to cut up the middle. 20, 15, cuts inside, 10, first down and goal. As the Steelers continue to go to work on the ground, Kenneth Gainwell having a very nice day. Of course, deputizing for the injured Jalen Warren, and it's going to be a Steelers 1st and goal with under 5 minutes to play. Good work making Martellus miss. Made about 3 Vikings miss before he eventually got taken down. So Kenneth Gainwell showing some very nice elusiveness as this game really comes down to the wire. Steelers again looking to put this game on ice with a 10-point lead. 4.5 minutes left to go in this game. They're going to offset I here on 1st and goal from the 10. Freiermuth going in motion to the far side. Going to be a handoff to Gainwell. Running to the left, going to cut it back inside. He's going to lose a yard or 2 there before he's taken down. Ball comes out, but the whistle was already blown. So it's going to be 2nd and goal now from the 11. Clock, of course, going to continue to roll. Actually, no, we do have a timeout with Minnesota with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Blaze it. But yeah, clock continuing to wind down. They're going to reset the clock. Damn it, they're going to reset the clock to 4:21. You ruined my joke, Minnesota. But DK Metcalf, lining him up in the slot has definitely seemed to be the way to go today. We've only seen him lined up there 17% of snaps through the first 3 weeks. Today, lined up there 53% of the time. Still the same, and he's matched the amount of receptions that he's had in the slot. And of course, that long touchdown was working out of the slot as well. And of course, when you have that big physical threat, definitely a guy to keep an eye on. And of course, again, just was absolutely able to take off down the field. Just had that opening gap. Was able to run over the last defender and into the end zone for the touchdown. 2nd and goal, though. Steelers lined up in the I formation here, working from the 11-yard line. Fakes the handoff. Rodgers rolling, fires towards the end zone, looking for Ben Skowronek. It's going to fall incomplete. Rodgers definitely frustrated on that one. It looked like he just missed his wide receiver. It was Martellus in coverage. Again, field goal still keeps it a 2-score game. And yeah, just Rodgers, I think, just missing his man there. Had a step. Yeah, Rodgers just knowing that he missed one there. So 3rd and goal here now from the 11. Steelers going to spread it out. Gainwell lined up to Rodgers' left. He's going to go in motion out wider. Vikings guarding the end zone. Rodgers takes snap. 5-man rush over the middle. Kenneth Gainwell down into the 5, down all the way to the about the 2. So it's going to be close. It's going to be 4th and goal from there. It's going to be 4th and 13. Rodgers is waving off the field goal unit. So it is a 2-possession game either way. So a field goal doesn't really, what a field goal does here. So a field goal gives you a point where the Vikings have to go for 2 touchdowns if you do kick a field goal here. If you do stay out on the field here with the offense, you have a chance to put this game on ice with 4:13 left to go in the game. Rodgers wants to keep the offense out on the field, and it does look like they're going to wave the special teams unit off. As the Vikings, again, did call timeout here with 4:14. Steelers still with 2 timeouts remaining, so they can call a timeout, potentially try and readjust. But Rodgers and the Steelers offense will be staying out on the field here. It's going to be 4th and goal from about the 2 or 3 yard line here. So again, game potentially, big moment in the game here. Play clock winding down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Single back is Gainwell. Darnell Washington going in motion. Handoff. Gainwell. Left-hand side. It's going to be close. Not going to get it. It's going to be a turnover on down. Steelers try to go for it. And with 4:09 left in the game, Steelers going to turn it over on downs. Vikings going to be taken back over from their own 1-yard line. Yeah, I don't love the choice to run the football there. I like the idea of going for it, but I don't like the idea of the inside give. I think Gainwell was pretty good, but I feel like you just got to pass the ball there. I feel like you got a lot more of a potential with the pass game there. Kenneth Gainwell you can see him through the field there, just not able to find his way into the end zone. But is just going to get marked down. I think it's definitely still worth it to go for that. But again, not what you'd love to see. Wentz now taking over from the Vikings 1. Handoff up the middle. Jordan Mason going to find a hole. It's going to give the Vikings a little bit more room to operate. They're going to get up to about the 6, so it's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards there before forward progress is stopped. The Vikings, of course, have to go up tempo here. Not a lot of time left. Still at the 2-minute warning in 1 timeout in your pocket after the gain of 6 on first down. The clock continuing to roll, officially under 4 minutes to play left in the game. Wentz going out of the gun, 3 wide receivers to the near side. Running back lined up to Wentz's right. He'll motion out into empty set. The running back going to be to Wentz's right still. Steelers bringing 5. Wentz pumps, fires over the middle, complete. Justin Jefferson picks it up. That's going to be up to about the 17-yard line as clock continues to roll. As Brandon Eccles now is down. Juan Thornhill, Darius Slay in coverage on Jefferson. So maybe a good focus as well from Jefferson to be able to hold on to that football. So injuries continue to be a big concern for the Steelers secondary as Eccles, with his helmet off now, down on the field. Looked like he slipped. Looked to be non-contact. Eccles goes down just kind of randomly, it looks like. So that's not good. Because Steelers are already very light at secondary. But definitely does not look good. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this game. Eccles still down. Looked to be pointing towards his lower left leg. Unsure fully what's going on. Again, still haven't cut to commercial. So we'll see if we end up doing that. But yeah, Minnesota has to get points here. And again, with one timeout, that's going to be a tall order to do that without burning too much clock. Steelers going to be, I think, doing a good job at defending the outside. I think that'll open up those routes over the middle like we saw from Jefferson in the first half. But again, you got to, at this point, you're basically thinking, all right, you got to get an onside kick together. Try and get that done. Wentz, out of the gun, running back lined up to his left. Clock now rolling. Wentz takes the snap, surveying, looking, firing, deep down the right-hand side, wide open. Jordan Addison, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, all the way down to the 1. Peyton Wilson with a great tackle there is going to burn some time off the clock, but that is a huge moment. Just completely blown coverage. Just completely blown. Handoff up the middle. Mason. Great tackle by Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen into the backfield. Takes down Mason for a loss of 1. Going to be 2nd and goal now from the 2 as clock continues to roll. Under 2 minutes, 40 seconds now to play. Again, that's just going to continue to burn time off the clock here. Peyton Wilson, of course, with that great tackle, is going to burn clock off there. That tackle by Patrick Queen will do the same. Wentz in the gun. Mason to his right. Takes a snap. Looks. Fires. To his left. End zone. Off the hands of Naylor. Incomplete. So it'll be 3rd down. James Pierre in coverage. But that'll stop the clock with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left now. And that's a great effort. Great effort plays from Wilson and from Queen. Have given the Steelers an opportunity to keep at least a touchdown off the board. And actually, that's a pass broke off for Pierre. They've got to hand that as the throw from Wentz a little bit behind Jalen Naylor, and that's what gave James Pierre the opportunity to make a play, knock that ball away. 3rd and goal now from the 2. Wentz in the gun. Mason this time lined up to his left. Takes a snap. Fakes the handoff. Looking. Firing. Left-hand side. Knocked away! So Steelers defense managing to hold firm. It's Juan Thornhill that time. He's going to make it 4th and goal. So Steelers defense holding firm. And again, almost picked off by Thornhill for a second there. And again, it's just that quick inside route. It's just a great anticipation by the Steelers safety. We're going to stand up behind the couch because it's worked in that first game. 4th and goal from the 2. Game on the line. Come on. Waits in the gun. Takes a snap. Fakes the handoff. Rolling to his right. Looking. End zone. Firing. Touchdown. Jalen Naylor. Vikings going to cut the lead to 4. With 2:08 left in the game. As a big drive there to give the Vikings an opportunity. Great play design there. Just opens the door. Just, hits the check down there. Cuts the lead to 2:08. And Jalen Naylor this time able to come away with it. Just a little bit of a sneaky drag route on that play action. Just nobody quite able to account for him as he slides through. But Carson Wentz with his first touchdown pass of the game. PAT attempt is good. And so the lead now cut to 3 with 2:08 left in the game. We got a big moment here. As Vikings defense with an opportunity. I think the question is going to be, are we going to see an onside kick here? 2 minutes, 8 seconds of game time. So if it gets returned, so there's the option is onside. Try to recover the onside kick, at which point the game could be very close to being wrapped up. If you don't, at which point the game is basically wrapped up if you don't recover it. You can try to kick it out the back of the end zone. You still have the 2-minute timeout after the first play. You can call it timeout after the second play, and that will burn about 1 minute and 20 seconds off the clock. So that still gives you about 40 seconds at the end of the game. And those are really your 2 options, because if you kick it and there is a Steelers return, that will all but ice the game. As again, you have the one timeout, but again, it's the same. You got 40 seconds between second and third. Or sorry, that would leave the Vikings with 1:20 if they do intend to kick it out the back of the end zone. It does look like the Vikings are lining up for an onside kick, though. So we will be seeing an onside kick in this one. I'm going to stand back up. Because it is, yeah, we're in the business area, but we are lined up for an onside kick here. 2 minutes, 8 seconds left to go in the game, and this onside kick will likely be for the ball game. So Hans' team is on. Last successful onside kick for the Vikings was December 24th of 2016 against the Green Bay Packers. So it's been a long time since the Vikings have gotten one of these. And the game's not over as well, even if if the Steelers manage to recover. But you got to get this done first. Kick is away. And we have a timeout, Pittsburgh. We have a timeout by Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh using their second timeout. So one remaining for each team. Again, 2:08 left to go in the game. I have to hold my urine because we haven't had a commercial break, so I couldn't go pee for the D. That'll happen from time to time. But again, we're standing up behind, you can't really see the couch, but it's here. I've been sitting on it the whole time. And again, still, you got to finish now if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Minnesota's done a good job at clawing, getting themselves back into the game. Certainly come to life here. Vikings were, of course, down 24-6. I believe coming into this stage. It may have been 21-6. Don't fully remember. But onside kick is coming. Again, Hans' team out for the Steelers. 2:08 left. Here we go. Lined up. It's away. Roman Wilson falls on it. Yes! Roman Wilson with the onside kick recovery. Good work from the Hans team. Going to burn a second off the clock. Minnesota still with an opportunity to get the ball back here. And again, game's not over. Again, good work by Wilson to make sure to dive on that football. First down at this point, all but, gets very close to ending the football game. But again, great moment there by the Steelers defense. 1st and 10 now from the Minnesota 49. Kenneth Gainwell in the game as the single back. 2:07 left in the game. Rodgers takes a snap. Gainwell up the middle. Up to the 45. So a good run on first down. And that will take us down to the 2-minute warning. So it's a pickup of 4 there on first down. Instead of make it 2nd down and 6. As we get through the 2-minute timeout. So not much time left to go. Steelers just trying to wrap up their trip to Ireland against the Minnesota Vikings. It's getting very close to the end here. So once again, at that 2-minute timeout commercial, again, thank you for, of course, thanks to everybody who joined in for this stream. Always appreciated when you can swing by. I appreciate all the likes, appreciate all the comments in chat that we've gotten so far. And definitely hope that you'll come back for another one in the future. Always appreciate having you. But yeah, Steelers starting to raise my heart rate a little bit as we get down to the wire. And so still a little bit of game left to go. 6 yards at this point effectively does end the game. And so, I'd expect the Steelers to keep it on the ground with Gainwell. Just put 2 hands on the football, blast forward, try and pick up a first down. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. The game almost over. It is now 11:33 Central Time. So we've been going for a while, up to 3 hours and 8 minutes now. And only 2 minutes left to go. Once again, still seeing ads here for the final portion of this game. Ale. Hey, they're playing Sweet Caroline. Very nice. Touching you, Sweet Caroline. Let's go, Pitt. Damn you, Pavlov. Rogers under center here. Gainwell is the single back working from the Minnesota 45. Connor Hayward coming in motion to the near side. Got to get to the 39 to all but end this football game. Rogers takes snap. Gainwell up the middle. Tries to bounce it to the outside. Rogers throwing a nice block. Gainwell shedding tacklers. He's going to pick up about 5 yards. He's going to pick up, I think, about 4 yards there. That's great plays from Gainwell to keep that alive. Great work from Rogers throwing a block downfield, giving Kenneth Gainwell that opportunity. And it's going to be 5 yards here. It's going to be 3rd and 1 in Minnesota. Going to burn their final timeout. As that is a great, again, that one play was breaking down. It looked like it was going to be a loss of 2. Gainwell just keeps it alive. Hayward not able to get that block done. Roger is just lowering the shoulder. And just not quite the angle for the Minnesota defense. Pittsburgh arguably now is in field goal range. However, I think the question now is, are you still in a 4-down scenario? Are you willing to, because if you kick the field goal, you only go up 6. You do kick the ball away. But again, that potentially stops the clock. A 1st down will end the game. 3rd down and 1. 1:52 left in this football game. Steelers at the Minnesota 40. Kenneth Gainwell remains in the game. Vikings loading up the line with defenders. And Steelers will burn their final timeout here on 3rd down and 1. So everybody out of timeouts now. So it's going to be a big moment here. And we're taking a look at the kind of blown coverage for Jordan Addison. I think it would look to be a kind of a cover 6 look. So you had one safety covering half the field. You had 2 other defenders dropping back. Actually, no. What the hell was that? Yeah, just Chuck Clark just doesn't. I don't know if it's just some sort of a miscommunication between Chuck Clark and Darius Slay. Again, it's just that effort play from Peyton Wilson to be able to chew off a whole bunch of clock is going to be one of the moments of this game. 3rd and 1. Darnell Watchalong coming in motion to the near side. Steelers showing heavy personnel against a loaded front by Minnesota. Rogers, snap. Gainwell up the middle. Not going to get it. It's 4th and about half a yard. It's going to be 4th and very close. It's Dallas Turner in there first to make the stop. So nobody has any more timeouts. So I imagine they're going to let the clock roll down here. Kick the field goal. I'd say click. Oh, shit. Are they going to try to draw him off sides here? Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay, they just tried to draw him off sides. Okay. Yeah. That. Are you serious? Like, we're averaging the run. We're doing so well in the run. Why are we taking the delay a game? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. We just had that big blown coverage, and it's like, all right, no, we're not going to go for it. Come on, Corliss. Hit him deep, Corliss. He's going to put it just out the back of the end zone. What the hell is this? Why did you take the... What are we doing? Oh, Jesus. 102 left in the game. Sorry, Wentz has 2 touchdowns today. That was not his first earlier in the game. .102 left. And I can't step away either, because the game's not over yet. We're going to stand up behind the couch once again. Steelers defense has to come up with a stop. 102. Vikings working from their 20. Wentz takes a snap. Big rush from the Steelers. Wentz looking, firing, deep to the left-hand side. Intercepted! Intercepted! It's James Pierre! And that's why you trusted the defense, as James Pierre puts the game on ice. Oh, we're going to have to see if that's confirmed, but it looked very close to James Pierre jumping in front of the route and picking it off. We're going to wait for confirmation, but it's the backup corner who may have just come in and won this game for the Steelers. We're taking a look here at the replay. Yeah, I think he got it. I think he got it. We're not sure. We got to see if there's a bobble. Pass intended for Jalen Naylor. I think that's good. I think that's game. That's game. That's game. He got that right foot down as he's going to secure the ball. He got that left foot down. That's game. That's game. Come on. They're under review right now. Come on. I wasn't worried. And even still, the job may not be done. Oh, he bobbled it. No! Oh, shit! Oh, Vikings are going to get the ball back here. It's going to be incomplete. Shit! Clock's going to get reset to 58 seconds. Vikings still hold on to the football. So close to being game. It's just that little double clutch. Shit. 2nd and 10. Oh, it was a great play by Pierre, so it'll still go down as a pass broken up. 58 seconds left to play. Wentz alone in the gun. Steelers showing pressure. They're going to bring it again here on 2nd and 10. Wentz firing over the middle. Incomplete again. Flag is thrown. We got a holding on the Steelers. We got defensive holding now. There's a flag closer to the... Yeah, no, it's a holding on Jalen Ramsey. Or sorry, on Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen is 6. Yeah, Patrick Queen just hooks the tight end around, hooks the intended receiver around the waist. It's going to give the Vikings a fresh set of downs. It's 54 seconds now. Oh yeah, only a 3-point Pittsburgh advantage. 54 seconds. Field goal to tie. Touchdown to win. Against a Steelers defense that has suffered a little bit of attrition, specifically in the secondary over this game. Now from the 25. Wentz takes a snap. Watt gets pressure. Wentz fumbles, evades it. Is going to go down. Nick Herbig gets there on the sack. Fuck! There's offsides on TJ Watt. Are you serious? The Steelers have been so disciplined this whole game, and Watt now gets flagged for offsides with 48 seconds left to play. I think that's bullshit. I think TJ Watt timed that up perfectly. 1st and 5. Vikings now from their 30. Wentz alone in the gun. Wentz takes the snap. Looking, firing, over the middle, complete. Out of bounds at the Viking 40. 43 seconds left. Fuck. Oh, Jesus. Will Reichard's got a leg as well. .43 seconds. 1st and 10. Again for the Vikings. From their own 39. Again, you gotta... Come on, TJ. Get a play. Make a play, TJ. Wentz. Pressure. Gonna go down. That's intentional grounding. That's intentional grounding. Get that, throw that flag. Herbig on the pressure. Where's the intentional grounding? There's nobody there. There's nobody home. There's nobody close. Great pass rush by Herbig. Yes, we got our intentional grounding. Thank you. So we got a 10-second runoff, so that'll take us down to 27 seconds. And a big loss there on 1st down as Herbig finds the rush on to Carson Wentz. Again, 27 seconds. You got 2nd and long here. Come on, defense. Hold out here. They're gonna put a second back on the clock here. 2nd down and 26. So it's going to be a loss of 16 on 1st down. It's going to push the Vikings all the way back to their own 23-yard line. Wentz in the gun. Running back lined up to his left. Some communication going on at the line. Play clock is going to get reset. And the clock will now roll. Wentz takes the snap. 5-man rush for the Steelers. Wentz over the middle. Going to dump it off. Hawkinson, 30, 35. Tackle inbounds. Going to get flipped over. 20 seconds down to the 37. It's going to be 3rd down now. Play clock continuing to roll. Looks like the Vikings are going to just spike the ball here. And with 14 seconds left to go, it's going to be 3rd down. It's going to be 4th down and 15 now. As again, 14 seconds left in the game. As it's 4th down now. It's 4th down. It's 4th down. Thank you. It's 4th down and 13. 14 seconds left. Play clock is winding down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Delay a game. Delay a game. Delay a game. Where's the delay a game? Thank you. Yeah, delay a game. The play clock's been at 0 for about 5 seconds. Delay game offense. So it's going to push it back to 4th and 18 now. So this will be for the ball game. Come on. Need one last hold from the defense now. 4th and 18, 14 seconds. Wentz in the gun, running back lined up to his left, 3 potential receivers to the far side. Steelers showing prevent defense. Wentz takes a snap, 4-man rush. Wentz stepping up in the pocket, firing over the middle, knocked down, incomplete. That'll be your ball game. It's Deshaun Elliott who gets the breakup, and that will be your final score. The Steelers just about hold off a charging Minnesota Vikings towards the end of that game, and will come away with a 24-21 victory against what has been definitely the toughest opponent so far this season. And yeah, just a great play there from Elliott to get that breakup, almost picked off by Queen as well, but almost icing the game on the interception by James Pierre. Still, though, able to come away with it. So not going for it on 4th and about half a yard there will still work out. And again, it's great to see Deshaun Elliott back. Victory formation for the Steelers. They'll drop it down, and that will officially be your ball game. Final score, Steelers 24, Vikings 21. The Steelers come out victorious, improve to 3-1. Definitely not a perfect game, but I think certainly a better game from this Steelers sign. Obviously, you'd like to see them be able to thrust the dagger in a little bit more when they had the opportunity. But I think that this is kind of the first game that I think, I can be more positive about with this team because I think the Steelers definitely deserve to win this game. Definitely got tight towards the end, which you don't love to see. But again, you made the plays you needed to. You took advantage of a lot of those mistakes. You did open the door late, but at the end of the day, you got the job done, and that is the important part. But, of course, with that being the final, definitely keep an eye out for a post-game reaction going live in not too long. Of course, thank you to all. I think 10 of you are still left in chat. So, of course, thank you all for joining me on this fine Sunday morning. I'm going to end this pretty quickly because I need to go and urinate, and I didn't want to do it and miss the end of that game. But again, thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so, make sure to like and subscribe. It's always appreciated. Definitely keep an eye out for that post-game reaction in just a little bit of time. I'll try to get that up within the next hour or so, or at least get it uploading within the next hour. So definitely be ready for that. Thank you for joining me. And until tomorrow night, I will see you later. Have a good one.